Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! That's a floater. Out to short. And it's good. Off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Grant Fournier, 2-run shot to right. From the home of the Thundering Herd, just off of Route 45, this is a matchup that's a long-awaited one. The last time we saw these two teams, Devin Williams made history just down the road at the Cap Payne Gymnasium. But we've got a great WJFL Diamond matchup this Saturday morning between the Woodbury Thundering Herd and the Glassboro Bulldogs. I'm Dan Wilkins. I'll be joined by Ryan Sieber today here from the Woodbury Bowl. This is our first time covering Glassboro during their 17-game win streak. They have not lost since November of 2023 when they lost to Mountain Lakes in the Group 1 state final in 2023. So do the math. That's 13-0 in 2024 under the head coach Timmy Breaker, and that was after a positively, I guess you could say, reinforced season back to the norm for Glassboro in 2024. They made it 13-0. 56-point win over Cedar Grove in the Group 1 state final. They had one of the most dominant seasons that anybody could ever imagine, and they beat Woodbury in a shutout fashion 34-0 last year, en route to 4 straight shutouts in a row for the Bulldogs. This week, though, they're in the same predicament. They beat Haddonfield 36-20 at the Battle of the Beach, and they have shut out their last 3 opponents in a row, scoring over 170 unanswered points. Haddon Heights, 52-zip. Pennsgrove, 63-zip. Salem, 42-zip. Would Woodbury be the 4th victim in a row, or will Glassboro struggle versus Woodbury's rejuvenated offense? We saw them put up a 42-6 performance versus Woodstown last week, where Nico Jimenez really shined. He was able to throw out of the pocket very efficiently. And Woodbury, especially Dale Thomas, a 4 rushing touchdown game for that running back. We're going to see what he's going to be able to do. But Glassboro's just got such a loaded roster, even with their win over Woodstown. You don't know if that momentum's going to carry over. I mean, Xavier Saab, the junior, class of 2027. He is the #1 athlete in the state of New Jersey, according to 24/7 Sports. He is a top 15 ranked athlete nationally. And if I wanted to list all of his Power 5 offers that he has, that would take up the entirety of my pregame slot, if not more. We might be halfway through the first quarter by the time I get through all of Xavier Saab's offers. Of course, you talk about his older brother, Keon Saab. He's right now, I believe, a junior at Alabama as a defensive back. And when you start talking about Alabama, you start talking about professional aspirations. And Glassboro has produced a lot of them over the years, Corey Clement being one of them in recent years for the Eagles. And for Glassboro, again, this is business as usual. They have not allowed a point in the month of September. Their last one, again, Haddonfield in week 0 back on August the 30th. Glassboro has taken the field. They're waiting for Woodbury to come out of the tunnel. This is going to be a great game between 2 great quarterbacks in Jack O'Connell and Nico Jimenez. Of course, Jimenez on an NJ.com roster will come to you as a wide receiver, but even though he's small in stature, we'll have to see if he can be large in his impact here in week 4. This is our last game of the weekend. We had some great action on Thursday and Friday night with Bishop Eustis and Buna and Burlington Township versus Del Ram. But it all comes to a head. Glassboro looking to win their 18th straight game. I can't believe I'm saying that. 18 in a row for football. Haven't lost since 2023. And the last time we saw Glassboro was September of 2023 when they beat Clayton on the road 16-8. Boy, how far Timmy Breaker and his crew have come. We'll take a quick break. Woodbury's going to get ready to run through the banner, take the field. We've got the national anthem, much more in our pregame festivities right after this. Glassboro and Woodbury exchanging their handshakes prior to the coin toss. Here on an overcast Saturday morning from Woodbury High School, we have a grand total of a 75-degree Saturday morning. It's going to be a high of 79 as we get through. Not a lot of wind, blowing 7 miles per hour to the northeast. And there is some rain that will be coming through, but well after our festivities are done, probably around 7 or 8 o'clock here in the Woodbury Bowl. But, you know, I was watching, if you're familiar with the Gloucester County Educational Network, Channel 98 on your cable listings, they've been uploading a lot of archived YouTube content of their old football games. And I was watching the 1998 South Jersey Group 1 final, and I believe John Mondelli was on the call for that one along with, I can't remember who it was, but there's a lot of great names from the GCEN days, Rob Christ, John Mondelli, Mark Narducci as well. Woodbury will defer, and they will receive the opening kickoff. But point is, though, this stadium was built in 2006, finalized in 2007, and Glassboro and Woodbury, they are one of those teams that have just so much history in South Jersey Group 1. Paulsboro being up there as well. It felt like every South Jersey Group 1 sectional final in the 90s was either Glassboro, Woodbury, or Paulsboro. You know, maybe there'd be a couple other wild cards in there, but in a typical year, one of those three would be atop the cards. But Woodbury and Glassboro, a long-standing history. Glassboro has won their last 3 matchups in recent years with a 34-0 win the last time that they came out. It was a stretch of 4 straight shutouts for Glassboro. Now the same scenario holds, and Woodbury is on the field. Running a little bit behind schedule today because it's 11:04 and we have yet to kick off and yet to do our national anthem. But either way, I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Ryan Sieber tonight up in the press box here in Woodbury as they'll take the field. We've got the coin toss, and I believe the national anthem is coming up shortly. We'll stay here. All right, we will stay here for the national anthem.
Singing of our national anthem by Woodbury Junior, Michaela Bishop.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, once so proudly we hailed, at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, on the ramparts we watch, so gathered we and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursted in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave on the land of the free and the home of the
Woodbury Junior, Michaela Bishop on the national anthem, and we've got 48 minutes of WJFL Diamond football coming your way. It's the Glassboro Bulldogs and the Woodbury Thundering Herd. I might be butchering that all night, all morning, all afternoon. We're getting started a little bit behind schedule. However, as we said before, 75 degrees at kickoff. Woodbury will receive the opening kickoff versus a Glassboro team that has won 17 straight. 13-0 in 2024, 4-0 in 2025, and Timmy Breaker, the famous cowboy hat over on that Glassboro sideline, will be ready to wreak some havoc from his Glassboro side right up the road on Route 45 to Woodbury High School. One of my favorite venues to visit here in South Jersey. Of course, this is our second of 4 games this year with our partnership with Woodbury, and we now find ourselves already 2 games in. We've got Gateway next Saturday in, I don't know what the official name of the rivalry is called, but the Gateway-Woodbury rivalry. I call it the Battle of Route 45 because it makes sense. That will be on Saturday, October the 3rd, the former Thanksgiving bout that we used to see. And then all the way at the end of the regular season, our final regular season game will be Saturday the 25th between the, I believe it's the Shalleck Cougars and the Woodbury Thundering Herd. Yes, Shalleck and Woodbury on Saturday, October 25th. Amari Saab, as we mentioned before, he will be ready to kick this one off, and we'll get ready to go.
Kicking off for Woodbury, number 14, Martin.
Martin will kick this one away for Woodbury. Both of the Saab brothers back to receive. It'll be easy to spot the Saab brothers tonight. Xavier number 1, Amari number 3. Glassboro, Woodbury. The band plays on. Happy Saturday. It's a football morning here in Woodbury. Returned by Xavier Saab. Breaks a couple tackles, gets out to the left side, spinning, and taken out of bounds around the 24-yard line, and that's where we will start our festivities on this Saturday morning with the kickoff just about 9 minutes behind schedule at 11:09. Let's take a look at Jack O'Connell, the starting quarterback for the Glassboro Bulldogs this afternoon. The transfer from Gateway Regional right down the road here with a great passing percentage for him this year, over 65% at 42 for 66, 762 passing yards, 10 TDs, 2 picks. 2 weeks ago in a 63-0 win over Pennsgrove, 10 for 14, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and nearly 200 passing yards. In 3 of his 4 starts this year, he's picked up over 100, and in his opening night win versus Haddonfield, he threw over 200. So we'll see what O'Connell's got in the store for the Group 1 senior. O'Connell fires left side. That one is short. Saab was the intended receiver. I'll have to differentiate them tonight. Amari Saab was the intended receiver. The older of the 2 Saabs. And it looked like it was broken up by Dale Thomas back there. Dale Thomas was the X factor in Woodbury's 42-6 win over Woodstown last week, picking up over 150 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns in the victory. I mean, 4 passing touchdowns is one thing, but for Anthony Reagan, the longtime head coach here at Woodbury, to have the trust in his running back to send him out there for the end zone 4 separate times, including 2 for 40-plus yards, was impressive. 2 receivers to the right for Glassboro, rushing up the middle, and they'll be stopped for about 1 yard this time. It was JoJo DeLeese, the junior, 5'11" running back. But even on a stacked team like Glassboro, you still have the Group 1 motto of dual threat players. Amari Saab lined up as a wide receiver and a cornerback on defense. Xavier Saab as a wide receiver and free safety. I mean, pretty much every running back is either a linebacker or a D-back. Every O-lineman is a D-lineman, so on and so forth. Maybe about 5 players on this whole roster that don't have a second duty. 3rd and 10, O'Connell in trouble, and he is going to not stay on his feet. That's a sack. That is a huge stop for Woodbury in their first drive. Number 50, Isaiah Dunleavy, comes up with it, and that will be 3 and out for Glassboro as they are pinned inside their own 10-yard line. As Woodbury impressing early in a game where Glassboro definitely can be considered the heavy favorite. They're going to send it. Looks like O'Connell's going to be back to punt. Back to return for the Herd will be number 5, Samir Pettit, also had a touchdown in last week's win over Woodstown. Punting from his own end zone, a slow punt, couldn't get much on it. Let's see here, it will roll. Pettit will pull himself away, and that will roll up to the 49, where Woodbury will get their first drive. Only 1:55 taken off the clock, 10:05 left in the first, and Woodbury, Dunleavy is down over at the spot of the punt. He was the man who had that sack that took care of Jack O'Connell and took care of the drive. For next week on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, we've got a doubleheader. We have decided to take off Thursday night due to a lack of close matchups. I mean, I'm not going to lie. That's just what it is. We were supposed to have Lindenwold and Pittman, but Lindenwold does not have a roster available on NJ.com, and we decided for that sake to take the day off. On Friday, October the 3rd, we'll be at Cherry Hill West for a matchup between the Triton Mustangs and the Cherry Hill West Lions. And then on Saturday, October the 4th, we are back at home. Back at home as in here for Woodbury, Gateway and Woodbury on Saturday the 4th. Check in for JUCO soccer on Tuesday, September the 29th from Rutgers Camden between the Camden County Cougars and the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners. Nationally ranked JUCO soccer with Camden County. They've been in the top 10, top 5 pretty much all year. And I was going to say Glassboro and Woodbury's athletic staff, training staff coming out, they were signaling over to the sideline for extra personnel. Timmy Breaker's coming out as well, along with Woodbury Athletic Director Anthony Browning. We'll keep this at a wide shot. Breaker coming in from the right side of your screen. Glassboro led by head coach Timmy Breaker, James Screven, Brandon Denny, and Julian Gravener as their assistant coaches. Glassboro's trainer Danielle Williams out there. So this is an extended break. And it looks like the Gloucester County Ambulance is actually going to make its way onto the field. So this is another repeating sight. We saw this last week. There was they've asked the players' parents to report to the field now. We had a break like this last week. There was a Woodstown player who went down with a non-contact injury and actually was unconscious on the field. But they're now bringing them over. I mean, this is just, it's another scary sight. This is the second week in a row that we've seen a player go down. I didn't get any angle or anything of Dunleavy being injured, and I wouldn't have any context, and if we did, we wouldn't show it for his privacy. But scary situation here with Woodbury. I would imagine maybe they need a stretcher of some kind. But Dunleavy, he is a senior who, again, just had the exhilarating high of picking up the sack versus Jack O'Connell. And right away, they are bringing out the stretcher for Isaiah Dunleavy. So best of luck to him. I mean, this is another just really bad situation where you hate to see this on any side. And Dunleavy still being attended to over on the far side of the field. While they attend to him, we're going to take a quick break. And with no score early in the first quarter, a long delay for Isaiah Dunleavy, who has gone down with what appears to be a serious injury. We'll be right back.
We're good. Right.
Isaiah Dunleavy is on the stretcher. Woodbury, a lot of Woodbury players coming out. The good thing is he's been moving around, and you could see, we'll just zoom in briefly, you could see his Woodbury players giving him his support as he gets loaded onto the stretcher and, again, onto the Gloucester County EMS ambulance. I should say, we mentioned this last week, if you look in the back, right across the street is the Inspira Hospital. So they don't have to go very far. And we had a player go down with was a gentleman from Kingsway who went down 2 weeks ago he had a seizure on the sideline at the end of the third quarter. And at Kingsway, I don't know where the nearest hospital would have been. It would have probably been the Inspira in Mullica Hill on 322. That's at least 10 or 15 minutes from Kingsway. Here, these guys can go straight out of the parking lot, make a couple left turns, and they're going to be at Inspira. So if he needs first of all, I think if he needed desperate medical attention, then they would be working a lot faster. But, again, they gave Woodbury their time to speak with Dunleavy and, kind of lift him up. Anthony Browning, the athletic director, is on a phone call. Again, there was an announcement from the press box asking his parents to be on the field. But I don't know. I mean, they're coming out of the huddle and they're lined up, but the ambulance is on the field. So this will go Woodbury's way at the 49-yard line for their first drive of the day, but that's another reminder. They haven't even started their first drive of the day, but they have to wait. I'm surprised they had them retake the field that early. And we've seen it enough times before to know that in a situation like this, the coaches can decide how much time a player needs or a team needs to warm up again. Sometimes in a long delay, you'll see, like after halftime, they'll do their stretch lines. Sometimes they'll do that coming back from a long injury delay. As Dunleavy, he had his jersey removed. He will get loaded up onto the stretcher, but the good thing is he is conscious, he is moving, and we hope that whatever injury he suffered, that he is okay and that he will be okay. And, of course, Woodbury and Glassboro staff working together to help out the linemen. And that'll be, first of all, I don't like to mention on-the-field stuff when it comes to injuries like that because of the humanity of it. But that's going to be a big blow for Woodbury's defense because Dunleavy just picked up a sack versus Jack O'Connell. And now one of their biggest defensive options has been taken away in Dunleavy, the senior lineman. So the Gloucester County ambulance will make its way to its destination. And Isaiah Dunleavy, to his family, to himself, to his teammates, send a thought, send a prayer, and hopefully he will be okay. Just such an unfortunate sight because this is the second week in a row here in Woodbury we've seen this happen. It happened to a Woods Town lineman last week, around the second quarter of that game. And just another, breaks your heart for these high school kids, especially because he's a senior. You don't know how long he's going to be out. Does he, miss the rest of his senior season? There's so much that goes into that. You don't know what he's thinking. You don't know what he's going through. Such an unfortunate situation. I was surprised that Woodbury and Glassboro were on the field for so long as the ambulance was on the field. But with 10:05 left in the first quarter, we will resume. And regular football has returned in Glassboro territory on the 49. Eli Young in motion. Jimenez in a lot of trouble. That O-line collapsed quickly. He's going to run out to the right. He is a mobile quarterback. He will dump it off. And look at this. First play. He is gone. Nobody's chasing him. Touchdown, Woodbury. Elijah Young, 49 yards. Jimenez breaking out of the scramble. And for the first time in the month of September, Glassboro has surrendered a touchdown.
I can't move the mouse at all.
There is some laundry on the sideline.
Oh, boy. Do we have a flag to bring this one back?
A sideline warning, so the game stands. And that is a touchdown, thundering her.
Hold on here. We're trying to stop the clock. There was a sideline warning called. We had a bit of a technical issue. Woodbury on the board. We'll reset the clock. It's at 9:50. But how about Nico Jimenez that time rolling out on the right side after the offensive line just didn't hold up? I mean, I had a feeling that this would be a challenge for Glassboro, but didn't think that Woodbury was going to have a lead this early, just 2 minutes in. Mark Martin will kick. This will be held by number 6, Nico Jimenez, and now we have a flag on the PAT. See what the call is. Offsides on Glassboro. Wonder if you would go for a 2-point this time because of it, because that should be half the distance. They're pulling Martin off. They are going to go for 2 now. Wait. Reagan just told him to turn right back around. They will attempt the 1 point. I'm not surprised. I think with how explosive Glassboro's offense is, you don't want to take a chance for a 2-pointer when you have the luxury of being up 1 score. I mean, that's how good Glassboro is. Look at this defensive line. They might get this one. It's up, away, and good. Mark Martin splits the uprights, and he's got himself a PAT, and it's a 7-point play for a 49-yard touchdown. Elijah Young. We'll take a quick break. Hard to believe that right now it's 11:27 a.m. We've gone through 2 minutes and 10 seconds of football here in South Jersey Group 1 action. I'm Dan Wilkins. Ryan Sieber is producing today. We've got a good one. Glassboro 0, Woodbury 7, 49-yard touchdown, Elijah Young. It is the first touchdown that Glassboro has allowed since the Battle of the Beach game that they had versus Haddonfield. They won that game 36-20, and as Glassboro looked for their 18th straight win, they're going to be definitely in a little bit of trouble, at least for now. I mean, they could come back and get this kickoff return and tie the game right back up, but Woodbury has right now been a tough battle through a very small sample size. Martin will kick. The Saab brothers, Xavier and Amari, respectively, back to return. And away we go. Short kick. This one's going to roll out to the left. It's going to land. It's actually a little bit further than we thought. Xavier Saab picks it up, barreling through the lines. He is going to get up to midfield. He spins, and he gets down at the 47. So Glassboro, for their second drive, will have exponentially better field position than in their first. But at this time, you know, when you're Jack O'Connell and you're throwing for basically 70% pass efficiency, you have some of the best wide receivers that New Jersey has seen in generations. I mean, the expectation is explosiveness. Woodbury just put their statement on this quarter with a 49-yard play, 49-yard touchdown on their first play, and also one of their biggest defensive options has been taken away. Diving forward, it's number 5 on the carry, Devon Barr. we're familiar with that name from basketball. I think I mentioned either in the Open or at one point that the last time we saw these two teams face off was late February of last year when Devin Williams, the class of 27 guard, hit the game-winning half-court shot to knock Glassboro out of the playoffs in what has been easily DWB's most viral moment, featured on ESPN, 6ABC, CBS 3, KYW, Jersey Sports Zone, of course. I mean, that is the moment that in one of my calls, that's something that I take the most pride in. It was that call by Devin Williams because I didn't think that there would be any chance that it would go. Sliding forward there, bit of a late hit that time. Handoff was to Amari Saab. As we mentioned, according to 24/7 Sports, Amari Saab is the #1 athlete in the class of 2027 and is a top 15 athlete nationally. I mean, when we're talking national, we're talking there are going to be a lot of eyes on him. And as I said, if you pull up his recruiting page and you see all the Power 5 offers, just the Power 5 offers. I mean, there are some schools that have offered him that might not stand a chance. But some of the Power 5 schools that have offered him are just incredible. We usually don't get a lot of players like this on DWB, mostly because we don't really get the chance. So it's really an honor to see Glassboro today. We'll see them later on this season on October 17th versus Shalleck in the second to last week of the regular season. David Cohen will be on the call for that one as timeout called. Glassboro uses their first. We'll take a quick break. 7:55 left in quarter number 1 here in Woodbury. Back here from Woodbury, this broadcast is brought to you by, let's adjust that video a little bit, shall we? Was a little bit misformatted, but there's a shot down from Broad Street. We'll fix that a little bit later. We were going to say this broadcast is brought to you by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or Dog Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment throughout the Garden State. Visit DAWGProWrestling.com for more information, and if you would like to book DAWG for your next event, visit that website as well. Here goes O'Connell. He's got a bomb downfield. It's deep. It's caught. And in the end zone, Glassboro's got this game back in their reins. Touchdown, Mekhi Parker. And even though we are not yet halfway through the first quarter, Glassboro has put their stamp back on this one. A 54-yard touchdown pass. Jack O'Connell with his 11th touchdown pass of the year. And with 7:45 left in the first, this could be a high-scoring affair, folks, especially if Woodbury's offense will keep on a roll. But that's a classic example of the the defensive backs just being burned out that time. O'Connell found him deep, and now he gets a pass. It's tipped, and it's intercepted, but they're unable to return. So the 2-point is no good. We got a replay on that. Let's take a look real quick at our replay of this 54-yard passing touchdown. Again, what I'm talking about when I say the defensive backs are burned out, I'm not saying that in the mean way. I'm just saying Jack O'Connell, he drops back deep in the shotgun here, and he just lets it fly. Look at where Mekhi Parker is. He's there, and then he's gone. Look at how far ahead he is. Diving effort by the Woodbury DB, but after that, no chance in catching him. Touchdown, Glassboro. But the score does remain 7-6 as the 2-point conversion was no good. I had a feeling Glassboro in their first score was going to attempt a 2-point conversion just for the sake of getting ahead. But a 1-point lead now For Glassboro, this is their second Saturday game that they have this year, and just their second and final afternoon game they have after beating Salem at Salem 42-0. But those are the first points that Woodbury has scored on Glassboro since 2021, when Woodbury won in a 12-1 campaign, 24-12. That was back when Brian Johnson was the starting quarterback, and also back when Tim Haggerty was the head coach. Glassboro was in the Patriot division and went 5-4 in 2021. And in Haggerty's last year in 2022, he went 7-3. Made it to the second round of the playoffs, beating Keyport, but losing to another South Jersey Group 1 perennial contender in Salem. This will be returned, and a big hit taken down around the 25, returned by Noel Huertas. But in Breaker's first year, they immediately saw some progress. I mean, 6-2 in the regular season is great, but then they definitely scheduled some tougher opponents in their 2023 campaign. Beat Keyport, South Hunterdon, Shalleck, and Woodstown to get to the state final. Lost to Mountain Lakes 24-6 at SHI Stadium in Rutgers. And their only regular season losses were to Middle Township, Pleasantville, and Pennsgrove, 6-0. And ever since that day, November 26th, 2023, they have not lost a football game. 13-0 in 2024. High snap to Jimenez. Another carry by Dale Thomas. And he'll get about 2 yards. This is where I feel like the momentum could really shift for Glassboro. I mean, it definitely felt like both teams were a little bit rocked. I mean, Woodbury, their first play, coming back from that lengthy injury delay, kind of caught Glassboro off guard. 49-yard play. I wouldn't be surprised if Jimenez tries to do the if it ain't broke, don't fix it motto with, Elijah Young. You've got a couple of wide receiving targets down there that you could definitely hit, like Orlando Concepcion. Didn't see too much of him last week, but he's definitely one of those guys that can burn out a defensive back. The only problem is the defensive back that he is matched up with is Amari Saab. So I don't know how lucky he's going to get, but you do have to look at those defensive matchups as a quarterback who you're going to be throwing to. It is caught on the far sideline. It's going to be short of a first. Pass was caught by number 11, Thomas Lewis. Seen a handful of him in the last 2 weeks. Glassboro for the road ahead. They do have a matchup versus Deptford on the road, and then Cinnaminson at home on Thursday the 9th. Friday versus Shalleck on the 17th, and then Woodstown away on the 24th. We forgot during the first drive Nico Jimenez's player profile, so we'll take a look at his real quick before this next play. 33 for 70 this year, and even though he's listed as a wide receiver on the NJ.com roster, he is most certainly a passing quarterback. 399 passing yards. Last week versus Woodstown, passed for under 100, but still had a touchdown. Again, the reason why I only had one in the 42-7 win was that 4 of those rushing touchdowns came from Dale Thomas. Oh, let's see. Got a movement here, and it's going to be a false start. That's a big drive killer for Woodbury. 3rd and short. Glassboro got him to jump, or Woodbury might have jumped on their own. I mean, that defensive pressure, that comes in, and that's going to be a big factor for Glassboro is that, their defense is pretty underrated for the fact that they have shut out their last 3 opponents. When we talk about Glassboro, we talk about their offense. We talk about the Saab brothers. We talk about Jack O'Connell. Well, their defense definitely deserves a lot of praise as well. We've seen Makai Parker lining up as a free safety. Really like Maurice Davis Jr. as a defensive end. He's somebody that is going to be really, really pressuring Nico Jimenez when he scrambles out of the pocket. Might be the first guy. Speaking of, right side, 3rd and short or 3rd and mid-range, incomplete. Young was the intended receiver. That was DeLeese who broke it up, the junior, and it'll be 4th and 6. From their own 30, we'll see if Martin comes out and tries to punt this one away. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I mean, it's a 1-point game, 7-6 here midway through the first quarter, and they will make a change. So, excuse me, not Martin to punt. It is number 11, Thomas Lewis. Well, the last 2 nights we've seen a different array of punting crews. Thursday versus Bishop Eustace and Buna. Buna's punter was an offensive lineman. And then Friday, last night, Vinny Sacca, the quarterback for Delran, was the punter, and they attempted a fake punt 3 times, taking advantage of the fact that Sacca is the quarterback and has a very strong arm. Xavier Saab back to return. A low snap. Oh, he muffed it. It gets right behind him. He bobbles it again. Oh, no. Disaster for Woodbury as a botched snap on the punt gives Glassboro a gift of field position, and they will start this drive that might only be a play or 2 long from the 5-yard line. That's a big mistake there. I mean, that ball got bobbled twice, and then Glassboro just shut the door on them. So the fact that they missed a 2-point conversion might not matter at all. They're going to be at the, I think they're going to be at the 5. Oh, what a rough break. Trying to check in on some out-of-town scores. I actually don't see any popping up right now. In the corner, pass broken up. Saab, the intended receiver. And, again, I keep forgetting I have to differentiate between Amari and Xavier Saab. Xavier Saab, the intended receiver, broken up by Nico Jimenez. Again, lining up as a defensive back in addition to being a quarterback. We saw that with Robbie O'Donnell. Excuse me, Robbie O'Connor, excuse me, out of Pennsville. I mean, Pennsville, same guy, lined up quarterback and defensive lineman. That was a game where Overbrook beat Pennsville 22-21 after Pennsville possessed a 21-point lead in the first quarter. Those drums hitting hard in front of the press box this afternoon with Glassboro trailing by 1, but maybe not for long. 2nd and 5. It is caught. Amari Saab wrestled to the ground, and it is a touchdown. Glassboro, they're in the lead. An aggressive tackle by Elijah Young. A late flag. Had a feeling something was going to spark out of that one. Elijah Young definitely twirled that receiver around, and Glassboro definitely will not tolerate any of it. So a late flag comes in. The magic words have been said, magic words that I probably can't repeat on the air. And we'll see where this penalty lies. And considering it's after the play, we'll imagine anything will be applied on the kickoff. It'll make it 12-7 Glassboro. I wouldn't be surprised if they go for 2 again to try to make this an even 7-point game. Could be offsetting penalties as well, depending on who struck first. But yeah, Elijah Young definitely gave Amari Saab a little bit of the business. We'll see where this penalty lies. Unsportsmanlike on Glassboro. So I'd imagine that they'll apply it on the kickoff. So if that's the case, then they would have to kick off 15 yards back. No, they're going to apply this here. Oh, boy. Well, Jack O'Connell was on the field, so they were probably going to try for 2 anyway. But now they're making a lot of personnel changes. I'm curious if they were going to try to go for 1, and then now they have to rethink it because they're going to have a 2-point conversion attempt from the 19-yard line. Now, remember, what's going to be interesting is whether or not – I mean, Glassboro scored on their first touchdown from 54 yards, so it wouldn't shock me if they're able to do it here. But this would definitely be one of the longer 2-point conversions we've seen. But with the lack of a proper place kicker on a lot of these Group 1 programs, I mean, we were lucky to see Delran with their place kicker hitting a field goal from basically extra point range, but also attempting one from 35 in last night's 22-10 loss to Burlington Township. O'Connell rolls out. Treat it like a normal play, except it's for 2 points. It's incomplete. Saab, the intended receiver, Broken up by number 7, Kyrie Brown. Definitely had some good defensive pressure there. And now Glassboro 0 for 2 on 2-point conversions. Let's take a look at the replay of that last touchdown. As again, when we talk about, what Glassboro had on that last drive, they were setting up from the 5-yard line. Woodbury had a very bad punt. This drive was almost gifted to them. You can see just a quick pass, fake the handoff, got a man open, and then this is what I think sparked it. You could see he lowers the shoulder, gets in, and he spins and basically flings him to the ground, and I think that's where you could see Glassboro came in. A lot of those guys had their hands up, and that is where that ended up being a problem. So it's 12-7. And again, those tensions may rise during the course of this game. They may fall. That might be the only time we see a personal foul all night. Do I think that will be the case? Probably not. But, we can only know for sure, and we can only talk so many hypotheticals over the course of the game. With the Woodbury Thundering Herd trailing the Bulldogs by 5 points. We'll stay here, 5:16 remaining in the first quarter. Again, if you're just joining us, I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Ryan Sieber on the production today. Pettit to return. I was a little bit surprised that the penalty was applied on the 2-point conversion. I mean, it was good for Woodbury because they stopped the 2-point conversion. But if it was applied on the kickoff, they would have kicked it off from their own 25, and it would have given Woodbury some solid field position. So, again, it's a conscious decision you have to make. Is it 1 hops, 2 Pettit? This will be returned from the 15. He'll break through a couple times. He will not be able to stay on his feet, and he'll start this drive from the 30, which is basically where Woodbury started their last drive. Got it to 3rd and short, had a false start, killed the drive, and they had to punt it away. From there, punt was botched, punt was muffed, and Glassboro took over from the opposite 5-yard line for basically a waltzing touchdown. If you're a small business owner interested in advertising with Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, you can become a sponsor of DWB by sending us an email with an inquiry for advertising at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com. We receive over 125,000 annual viewers a year and also almost 10,000 social media platforms across Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Here comes the handoff. Oh, big hit. Thomas taken to the ground hard. It's getting in there that time was number 9, Tasheen Butler. But again, if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, all the commercials you'll see today at halftime are produced, edited, recorded, and filmed by myself and my wonderful crew. And, of course, being a sponsor means that you get featured on every Dan Wilkins Broadcasting live stream, no matter whether we're in Camden County or in PA or in Delaware or anywhere else in New Jersey. It doesn't matter. Every broadcast, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, I don't know, if we ever pick up a professional billiards gig, you'll get featured on our many, over 150 broadcasts a year. It's great exposure for a small business, and it's great exposure to get yourself going, as there is a pass incomplete. Elijah Young, the intended receiver. Can't really say there was much of a breakup there because Jimenez had to throw out of a collapsing pocket, and Young had his back turned when the ball was fired to him. And that's one thing as a quarterback that these guys are going to have to learn going forward, is that if you're Woodbury, if you're in a situation where that pocket is collapsing, as it will many other times this afternoon, you'll find yourself in a situation where you have to find a receiver who is looking your way. You can't expect the receiver to turn your back and immediately find the ball in his hands. Once again, Jimenez having to stay mobile, running directly. A big end around, flips it out, and he throws it into the Glassboro sideline. And that's going to be another, going to be 4th and 10 here. So they will bring on Mark Martin and the punt crew. Unless they'll send Lewis back to punt again. I mean, what's interesting, though, is now Glassboro has kind of seen what Woodbury's passing game is all about. Jimenez is a mobile quarterback, but their defensive linemen now seem to have a little bit of a better game on them. Lewis is back to punt. Wasn't sure if they were going to give him a second chance with how the first one went. .4:13 left in the first. after back-to-back incompletions. This snap is a little bit better, and it is sent out. This little late whistle there came out around the 40-45. And Glassboro will have more good field position, which is not what Woodbury needs. Woodbury does not need to give Glassboro good field position, but Glassboro will take it. Again, it doesn't really matter where the field position is. It seems like Jack O'Connell is going to be a guy who can find his receivers anywhere he finds them. For the senior quarterback. But again, this will be the last year of seeing O'Connell and and Amari Saab together. Meanwhile, Xavier Saab will have another year under his belt as a 6'1", 185 wide receiver and free safety. Makai Parker still a sophomore. Tasheem Butler still a junior. I mean, there's slots all over this roster that are really strong. As here's the catch to Xavier Saab. Breaking through, will get a first down. He'll get up to the 25, and Woodbury will take him down with a tackle on the far side. I believe Elijah Young came in, and again, if you're Glassboro, that number 3 is definitely gonna be a player that Glassboro will take exception to, especially after what happened in the first quarter. A lot of these guys don't forget. They do not forget. They may be forgiving, but they are not forgetful. Definitely a different situation there. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. O'Connell back in the shotgun as he's been pretty much all night. Single back. Dropping back. O'Connell in trouble. Not really. Now he's got to scramble. Flag comes in. Might have a hold here. He will take himself out of bounds for about 8 yards, but the referee had a flag. The white hat had a flag from the backfield. Pressure was made by 2 men, number 99, that was Omar Johnson, and number 54, Julian Dunbar. But again, Dunleavy being out, we'll have an offensive hold, so that'll be 10 yards back. Good break for Woodbury. I mean, Glassboro, again, they don't make a lot of mistakes, but when they do, if Woodbury wants to stay in this game, they're going to have to take advantage of those mistakes. Last night when we were at Burlington Township Delran, Burlington Township, for a 4-0 team that had scored 40 or more points in every game up to that point, they made a lot of mistakes last night. But Delran's problem was that they didn't capitalize on said mistakes. Burlington Township would have a hold or a hands to the face, just silly mistakes. A hands to the face, saw a lot of personal fouls in the first half, saw some guys jawing at each other at the halftime break. We saw all of that, and it just felt like Delran couldn't pivot it around. O'Connell, handoff on 1st and 20, all the way back from the 35-yard line. Gain of about 3. It'll still be 2nd and long. But again, this is not something that Glassboro is unaccustomed to. They definitely are used to facing adversity on these drives, and Woodbury's going to play them a little bit harder because they are Glassboro. I mean, you're going to play every opponent hard, but when you know the stakes of this game, when you know the stakes of the fact that you're 1-3 to start the year, you definitely did not have the start to the season that you wanted, you can still rebound. I mean, Woodbury won as a 6 seed on the road last year over Middlesex in the first round of the South Jersey Group 1 playoffs. They definitely can make some noise. They just have to be given that opportunity. And Glassboro, everybody knows they are the front runner. They are the powerhouse. Woodbury wants to make a statement, and Glassboro wants to kind of shut them up a little bit. Here's a throw. Caught, right side, taken out of bounds. Catch made by DeLeese. He'll get taken down at the 27. I mean, maybe shut them up's not the right word. I'm thinking they're trying to face the noise and say, yeah, this is another opponent that we have to face, and they definitely have the precedent behind them. Glassboro shut them out last year. Glassboro hasn't allowed a point in 3 weeks, and now they break the streak with that 49-yard pass from Young. But Woodbury right now holding their own. I might come back in the post-game report when all of this is said and done and say, yeah, I was wrong. Glassboro definitely was in the driver's seat at this point. I mean, we're 1:10 left in the first quarter. They could score right here, and, maybe that narrative would shift a little bit. O'Connell, play action. He's got a man deep downfield. Let's see what he's got. Double coverage. Incomplete. And a late flag. Is this going to be pass interference? Well, Woodbury is, their sideline is up in arms. Yeah, Woodbury's definitely showing the refs their displeasure because this could be pass interference. There was double coverage on the man. His home crowd definitely won't be happy if this is pass interference. Now remember, it is not a spot foul for that. It's 15 yards. And they're going to walk this one up, so I believe it's pass interference. Yeah, oof. I think what Woodbury's not happy about is not the PI call itself, but is the time that the flag was thrown. I mean, the flag was thrown very late. I don't know if the ref needed a second to think about it, but there was double coverage with Mark Martin in there. And Glassboro will now be given another 15 yards here. They're going to spin the partner round and round. Interesting stuff there to try to disorient the Woodbury defense. I've never seen that before. O'Connell, even we're lost. It's Amari Saab at the goal line. I think we all got dizzy from whatever Glassboro just did. It's going to be second and goal. They're around the 1.5, 2 yard line. They've got about 35 seconds left in the quarter. Yes, the first quarter. This first quarter is going to be, let's see right now, it's 11:55. We got started at 11:10. It's going to be a 45-minute first quarter. And it's going to be even longer because Glassboro just called the timeout. It's their second of the half. 27 seconds remaining. If you're just joining us, it's a good one so far. Glassboro, though, definitely taking hold of the offense. It's 12-7. Glassboro burns their second timeout of the first half, led by head coach Timmy Breaker in his third year. What a start for Breaker. I mean, I say what a start even though he's in year 3, but this will be his last with his main core, especially with the first of the Saab brothers. A lot of personnel changes. They've got 3 linemen lined up. When the commentators are disoriented, oh my goodness, they're going to pass. It's incomplete to Saab. They got a little bit pretty that time, and on second and goal, incomplete. I mean, they had 3 linemen. They had a left guard, a center, and a right guard. And then they had 2 more offensive linemen lined up as receivers. I would imagine they were declared as eligible. But that is a unusual play call. We've seen back-to-back from Glassboro. They had the merry-go-round in the huddle, and then they had whatever that was. It's an incompletion. Third and goal from the 2 yard line. You can't get much closer than this. They're might be at the 1, actually. Oh, boy. Glassboro looking for their 3rd score of the quarter. They're up 12-7 now. Could be 19-7 after this, or 18-7. Throw, left side. One hand. Cannot come up with it. More double coverage that time from the far sideline. It is Lewis and Jimenez who couldn't come up, and now Saab is down. That was Xavier Saab, the intended receiver, who went down. And it'll now be 4th and goal. I don't know personally if I'm a fan of throwing it on 3rd and goal from the 1. I think I don't. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to just wrap my head around some of these trick plays. Not that I think that they're bad, but I feel like they should be used in different scenarios. That's just my opinion. But 4th and 1, I would imagine, 4th and goal from the 1 yard line, just try to punch it in. You know, try to get a strong back. Devon Barr, get DeLeese on a carry or something. Get somebody out there who can definitely burn through a lineman or, you know, create a gap. Because right now this is an interesting scenario because if Glassboro doesn't score here, they'll give Woodbury the ball on their own 1 yard line. And Woodbury's offense hasn't worked very well today in these pressured situations. Taking a long time before the play. And you know what? It's because Sab is still down over on the far sideline. Breaker, a couple of assistants, and then Woodbury's athletic staff also coming to join him. I was curious what the delay was, but then I realized that they were still in an injury timeout because Sab, he's off the physical field, but he's not far enough away where they can resume play safely. He'd have to be far enough away on the sideline. Sab getting up. He is walking but limping under his own power. So Xavier Sab, I mean, he's able to put weight on both legs, but he's definitely favoring that right leg. We've seen a couple of injury timeouts so far, and that is well, first of all, for a crucial play, because it's an injury timeout, he has to sit out for at least 1 play, if not more. That takes away one of your biggest offensive weapons for a crucial play here at the tail end of the first quarter. Fourth and 1, offense stays on the field. No field goal unit here for Glassboro. Not even sure if they have a field goal unit for what it's worth. Again, I feel like they're just going to try to punch it in, do the basics. Breaks through, and he's got it. Touchdown, Glassboro. They finally got one. It took them just a couple of plays on 4th and 1. It was 4th and goal. Jack O'Connell with the handoff to it was Devon Barr who had it. Pretty simple play. And with 13 seconds left, Glassboro now leads it by 9 points. It's 11 points, 18-7. So they're 0 for 2 on 2-point conversions so far. Could make it 20-7 with this conversion if they're successful. Trying to hand it off. DeLeese, think he's got it? No, he is short. Tough break for Glassboro. They've gotten the 3 touchdowns, but after the play, they've struggled. They are 0 for 3 on 2-point conversions, and the score will remain 18-7 going into the kickoff. We will be right back. 13.5 seconds remain. We'll have time for one more play before the end of the first quarter. It is Glassboro 18, Woodbury 7. Glassboro ready to kick off with an 11-point lead here from the Woodbury Bowl. That's just what I call it unofficially. I mean, I miss stadiums that don't have names at the high school level. I mean, my home stadium, Audubon High School, where I went, Bendorf Narducci Memorial Stadium. I believe it's a Memorial Field, but still, this is just Woodbury High School. So I feel like the Woodbury Bowl is an appropriate name, a lot like Cherokee. Oh, ball comes out. What a hit. Here comes Glassboro. They're getting it back, and they are going all the way. He gets stripped down from behind him, and a kickoff return on a fumble by number 18, Marley Crowell. What a break for the Bulldogs as they recover on a vicious hit to number 13. Noel Huertas, they get a scoop and score on a kickoff return, and the Bulldogs with their 4th score of the first quarter. Clock hits 0. Score is now going to be 24-7. That is just marvelous stuff there. Glassboro came in. They laid down the law. Oh, hold on here, folks. Dealing with whatever issue with our scoreboard, but it's 24-7. Scoop and score. Woodbury had such high hopes going into this game. They had high hopes after a resounding win to open their home slate versus Woodstown. And now Glassboro has put up a 4-touchdown first quarter to make this game a lot less manageable going into quarter number 2. This will be an untimed, well, obviously untimed, but they're out of time. Direct snap, flag. Conversion is good. Tackle made by Thomas. Oh. We got some, they're going to have a second flag. I think this is going to be offsetting here. Glassboro, they're chirping at the Woodbury sideline here. Coaches are coming out. Now a third flag comes in. A fourth flag comes in. So many dirty laundry, you're going to jam the washer. Oh, we've got 4 flags on the play. They're going to figure this out. There's a lot of chirping. Glassboro's still talking. There's a 5th flag. Glassboro's got to be separated here. That was Tasheem Butler who came in. Number 99, Omar Johnson, was doing some shoving for Woodbury, and this will have to be settled because there's going to be some offensive penalties. There's going to be some offsetting penalties, and I think every referee who had a flag in their pocket had one to throw. Look at that. All 6 flags are on the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's that's 6 flags. 6 referees on the field. Every single one of them threw a flag. I don't know if you heard the public address announcer. He said there's 6 flags and this ain't great adventure. Oh, my goodness. So this could very well get out of hand. The athletic director, Anthony Browning, just went over to talk to the Glassboro assistants. Now, Glassboro huddling up. This game could get very ugly very fast because Woodbury and Glassboro already jawing at each other here. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but this is looking like this could be offsetting penalties. And, I mean, there were no punches thrown, but there were a lot of words said that we could not hear, and maybe we're grateful for not hearing them. But you saw Glassboro players jawing at the Woodbury sideline. That drew some flags. But, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if these are 6 penalties or do we just have 6 flags on the field. Oh, boy. Welcome to Group 1 football, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Saturday. We're going to be here for a while. Oh, man. So the Whitecap, where is he? I'm not sure where he is. Because there is a referee speaking with the Woodbury sideline. Anthony Browning was over at the Glassboro sideline. I can't tell where the Whitecap is, unless I just can't see him. So Woodbury will now call all their guys over. Okay, there is the Whitecap. He was in the middle of that talking to Anthony Reagan and several assistants. The only thing I could think of is that the referees are speaking here to try to figure everything out, and maybe they're sorting out an ejection. Because if there is, maybe that's why they're discussing it. But for what it's worth, I believe here's the thing. All of those flags, there was one that came in. That, first of all, let's backtrack. Amari Saab got the direct snap, and then there was a flag that came in from the back, which makes me think that there might have been a hold. And then every other flag after that was well after the play, and maybe some even 30 or more seconds after the play. Now Timmy Breaker is out. He is speaking with the Whitecap, with the official. So this, again, this is a situation where the peace has to be restored. Because for a high school football game, we see far too many stories of bad actors. And obviously these two head coaches, they want nothing but the best for their teams. And they want to make sure that this game does not get too extracurricular. I'm noticing, though, they got a place kicker on the field, number 19. That is Salvatore Esgro. So Breaker still talking to his official here. And again, a precarious situation here because, like we said, there were 6 flags on the field. I've seen 4. I've seen 5. I don't think I've ever seen every official remove the flag out of his back pocket. I mean, in a separate room next to us, there's a clock operator. I'm surprised he didn't throw one and put it on the field. I mean, there is so much here. They're not even announcing the penalty. They're just going to try to send this away. Look at how far out he is. They're going to try a PAT from the 20-yard line, and it is wide left. PAT is no good. Glassboro 0 for 4 on PATs. I mean, I'll be honest, you don't really need the official to explain what the penalties are because they probably all offset. That's probably what it was. That there was probably a lot of offsetting penalties that they just didn't want to go through, and you can get the gist of it. At the end of the first quarter, it's Glassboro 24, Woodbury 7. Heck, I don't know. As we go to the second, I might have a flag appear in my pocket. I'm not sure. We'll be right back. We are only a quarter of a way through this game. We'll be right back. A combined 31 points in the first quarter, and there may have been as many points as there were flags. As, man, I wish Ed Hockley was here to call this game because the joy he would have brought would be fantastic. Or we can settle for Phil Harding. I'm not sure. But 24-7 at the start of the second quarter. This will be taken away by Salvatore Esgro. Returned by Young. Gets a stutter step. Tries to break through. And this will be at the 27. Some more shoves after the play. This isn't over. This is not over. And this could get better or this could get worse. I mean, you got to make sure everybody stays healthy and safe. There's a competitive spirit to the game, and you have to make sure that, you know, nobody's getting hurt or nobody's getting disqualified or ejected or suspended because of this. I mean, listen, Glassboro's got a lot of players with heavy recruitment. The Saab brothers, O'Connell, Barr, Butler. I mean, I can name like 20 players on this roster alone that are probably getting a lot of heavy recruitment. Extracurriculars like that can affect it. And if you're Timmy Breaker, or if you're anybody who is a fan of good, clean football, you got to make sure that these players keep their wits about them. Because that's not a program setter for a lot of these guys. As Young gets a reception, breaks 2 tackles, he'll have a first down, and he's taken out of bounds around the 45. Yeah, sometimes the plays where the most extracurriculars happen are the plays where a receiver goes out at the sideline, because when you're one guy, you've got about 40 people to talk to. You've got about 40 people to say something. That'll bring him up to the 45. You'd see even Makai Parker was talking to somebody down there. Again, there's jawing and there's chirping into the competitive spirit, but I feel like there's a line that is very close to being crossed if a couple more plays of big nature happen. Thomas wrapped up in the backfield. That'll be a loss of 2. A tackle by, I believe it was number 10, Junior Serrano. But Woodbury had the first score of the game, 49-yard touchdown to Elijah Young. And then from there on out, it's been all Glassboro, 4 unanswered scores in what is now a 24-7 game. Woodbury driving, though, second and about 12. They are still in their own territory at their own 43 after picking up 13 yards from Young. Jimenez, shotgun. Line collapses. He's in trouble. Lets it fly. It's caught by Thomas. He will get some room, almost like a screen pass. He gives himself up and slides, maybe against his own volition there at the 49. They'll get a gain of about 5 or 6. They're going to spot this at the 48. First down marker, the line to gain is at the 46, 45 on the other side. This one's a long one, folks. We're already an hour into this game because we had an injury delay. We started 10 minutes late. We were at 11:10. And then we had the injury delay for Dunleavy. We had all the other extracurriculars that took out a couple minutes. Jimenez in trouble again. There's 3 linemen all over him. He will break them. Now here comes the throw. He's tripped, and it's incomplete. It looked like he fell down there. The wide receiver, number 5, Samir Pettit, was the intended receiver, and it'll now bring up 4th and 6. Another breaker for Woodbury that time. They had a good drive going. They seemed to have the fundamentals down, but unable to execute when it mattered. And now Glassboro with this 17-point lead will send the punt crew back out trying to trap Glassboro in bad field position. But I'll tell you this, you cannot win games by trying to draw fouls, and I think that Woodbury is right now in a position where they are trying to win this game by forcing Glassboro into a mistake. And you're not going to see that out of Glassboro. You may see it out of other teams on your schedule, but you're not going to see it out of Glassboro. They do not bend very often. High snap, a slow one. This one is sent. Good punt. This one's going to go out to the 20. It will bounce. It will be returned and wrapped up. Tackled. DeLeese was on the return. Tackle made by number 23, that being Josh Sanyalu. And Glassboro looking for their 5th unanswered score at this time. Early in quarter number 2 will be starting their drive out from the 20-yard line.
First and 10, Glassboro from their own 20-yard line.
Millville-Winslow is the game on the docket this afternoon at 1 o'clock from Willsboro. Our good friend Tom McGurk is there. We may usually we don't have updates on the 1 o'clock games because we're out of here by then. But it's 12:15 right now, and we're in the second quarter, so we'll be able to watch. We'll be able to get updates on Millville-Winslow. Handoff, Barr. Spinning and taken down. That was Pettit on the tackle, assisted by Kyrie Brown. That'll be a gain of about 5 or 6, a little bit further than that on forward progress. They're actually going to give him a gain of 9. 2nd and 1 from the 29. Of course, I'm sure some of you might be flipping back and forth between this game and your college football likings. If I was at home, I'd be doing the same, but we appreciate you joining us today. We do have a Venmo at DW Broadcasting if you'd like to contribute for travel expenses, college funds, and much more. As here's a pass deep. A little bit of contact, no foul, and no completion. Intended receiver was Parker. Double coverage that time between Pettit and Lewis. Again, 2nd and 1 that time, trying to get a bomb downfield from O'Connell. I mean, for somebody that has the arm, somebody that has the potential, it's definitely a good thing to have. But right now at this time, we'll see if O'Connell will just try to do the basics. See if they'll run it on 3rd and 1. I mean, it took them until 4th and goal from the 1.5-yard line to get a rushing score. at least on that situation. They do hand it off. It is Sab. He's got a first by maybe 3 yards. They try to push him back, but forward progress will move the sticks for a Glassboro first down. Woodbury headed by longtime head coach Anthony Reagan, assisted by Martin Johnson, Corey Harvey, Troy Shorts, Jamie Eckleys, Tyler Cobb, and athletic director Anthony Browning. Again, it wasn't much, but it was enough for a first down. It was enough to get Woodbury uncomfortable. And now, even with Glassboro not across midfield, they're not far from it. They're at the 34-yard line. It's 1st and 10. Handoff to DeLeese. He'll get 8 or 9. Forward progress might even put him further than that. He's at the 44. And it will be enough for a first down. So he dove forward, and it was enough to move the sticks. Back-to-back first downs for Glassboro. Again, this is our second of 4 contracted games with Woodbury this year. We find them again on Saturday, October the 4th versus Gateway in the Gateway Woodbury rivalry. Say that 5 times fast. And then Saturday, October the 25th versus Shalleck to close out the regular season. Again, next week we'll be taking Thursday off, and then Friday we've got Triton and Cherry Hill West. Saturday we've got Gateway Woodbury, and I believe we have at least one high school soccer game lined up for that day as well, sometime between Monday and Thursday. O'Connell lets it fly. 1st and 10, double coverage. It's caught. Mackay Parker, he's on the sideline. He is in. 45 yards. Mackay Parker with the 5th touchdown Glassboro has recorded in a quarter and a half. O'Connell with his 2nd deep bomb, this time to Parker. And it's now 30-7 Glassboro as they have put their stamp on this game, and they have sent a soulful Woodbury team into the hiding place, as it's now 30-7, 23-point game, and Mackay Parker has definitely made this Woodbury offense, or Woodbury defense rather, one that they are frightful of. They will attempt the PAT. It's up, away, and it floats through. It's good. Salvatore Esgro, the junior place kicker. So I must have been wrong because they did have a place kicker, and now they're proving me wrong. Esgro, for the first time tonight, converts a Glassboro PAT or 2-point conversion. They're now 1 for 5. We'll take a brief break. 6:45 left in quarter number 2. 31 for the Bulldogs and 7 for the Thundering Herd. We got that replay for you of the 55-yard touchdown. Jack O'Connell, look at that O-line holding up. That is huge, and then he lets it fly. Double coverage. I didn't think he'd be able to come down with it. You could even make an argument for PI. I don't think it was, but he got over, I believe that was Concepcion, and then just what a rush. I mean, being able to pick up that catch alone was huge, but being able to tack on the yards after catch and getting a touchdown, phenomenal stuff from Mackay Parker. Oh, it got through everybody. This is going to go into the end zone, but it will be waved off, so it'll be a touchback for Esgro. Remember, once a ball is caught, once the ball reaches the end zone, it cannot be returned. So even if you catch the ball in the end zone, you cannot return it, and it will be Woodbury starting from the 20. Where do they have it lined up in the NFL now? The 35?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, producer. Ryan Sieber. Yeah, I mean, you watch more NFL than I do. And what, is it the 30 in college football?
I think they're still at the 20.
I think they're still.
don't think
I
they
like
moved.
it from the 20.
So why?
I mean, I never understood watching the Eagles why you would start a kickoff from the 35. You're guaranteeing that they're going to be closer to the end zone. 15 yards, that's a big difference. Yeah, I never understood that. Jimenez dropping back. He's got a man on him, throws it away. Definitely think that if he was a little bit shorter, he could have had an intentional grounding call there. But, yeah, I mean, from how NFL kickers are hitting these days, 60-yard field goals aren't even, like, headline stories now. I mean, when Matt Prater back in 2013 hit a 64-yard field goal in Denver, it was an earth-shattering story because it was the longest field goal in NFL history. Now, guys are hitting from 70 in practice, and now sometimes at the end of a half, they'll even attempt it from 70 just for the sake of trying. You would never see that back in the day. But now these kickers are stronger, and you're giving them a starting position from the 35. Big tackle on the handoff to Thomas, number 55, coming in that time, Brandon Simmons Jr. One of the big defensive specialists for Glassboro as we are now entering the final 6 minutes of the half. And yes, the final 6 minutes of the first half. It's 12:25. Last night was our longest game of the year at 2 hours and 48 or 45 minutes from start to finish. And again, every game is 48 minutes from start to finish. But you talk about stoppages, you talk about timeouts, incompletions. 2 hours, 48 minutes. And today, almost certainly guaranteed to be longer than that one. 3rd and 10 after the rush. This one is way up there. Picked off. It's Mekhi Carter. He did it again. He is ripped down by his foot as it's an interception for Jimenez, his 3rd of the year. Tackle made by Huertas. As Parker picked up a touchdown of 55 yards and now an interception. And remember, it has to be a 34-point game at halftime for a running clock to be in order, and Glassboro is just one touchdown away from reaching that mark. Now, the running clock, if it's reached prior to the first half, does not start until the 3rd quarter. So they could score as many as they wish, and then the running clock would begin in quarter number 3. They'll start this drive with the sun peeking out a little bit here in Woodbury from the 38. Handoff right side. It's Barr. He's got a first down and more. He's got 15 yards. Got a flag down. Not sure where. See what this call is. Sometimes when there's neutral body language on both sides, it's hard to tell. Face mask, Woodbury. That's a big break for Glassboro. Again, Glassboro can cruise easy if they have a running clock in the second half. And after scoring 63 versus Pennsgrove, 42 versus Salem, 52 versus Haddon Heights, this is just business as usual. They're probably going to go undefeated in the regular season again. That's just how it is.
First and 10, Glassboro from the Thundering Herd, 32-yard line.
First and 10 from the 32. O'Connell dumps off a pass, caught. Amari Saab. They're going to get back to the line of scrimmage, but not much more. Second and 10. Again, pass was complete, but time is called. With 4:32 left in the half, Glassboro calls their final timeout. And so will we. 4:32 left in quarter number 2, 31-7. Glassboro up big here in the second quarter. Woodbury definitely put their mark on the game, but Glassboro has quite literally put 5 of those marks on the game. They lead 31-7. Dropping back, O'Connell. He's got a man. 3 guys down. Incomplete, but a flag comes in during the reception. And it looked like it was aimed on the left side by one of the side judges. Intended receiver was Amari Saab. Looked like in on the breakup was Thomas Lewis. Looking like a penalty on Woodbury maybe. Is this going to be another PI call?
Excellent coverage there by Thomas on the defense.
Looks like Dale Thomas actually, not Thomas Lewis. They're walking this one back.
Illegal touching by number 3, White, and that should knock Glassboro back a bit.
Illegal touching by Glassboro, by Saab. Interesting. 3rd and long now. Any stop that Woodbury can make will be good for them. I feel like maybe a little bit of it is delaying the inevitable, but you play to win. You don't play to settle for a non-running clock score. You play to win the game. That's what every head coach goes through. If high school football was based off of when you play a team that is a heavy favorite, that you play to avoid a running clock, then you're not playing the game the right way. No matter how much of a disadvantage you might be at. Ooh, handoff that time. Good break. DeLeese. Is he going to get a first down here? He is going to break all the way through to the 20, and this should be a first down. He somehow stayed on his feet long enough. He was basically stumbling for the second half of his run, but he was able to make the play. And they're going to get up to the red zone. Now remember, if Glassboro does get a score here, they would be up by 34 or more, but the difference is that Woodbury would still have the remainder of the second quarter to score again and avoid those second half running clock woes. Maybe that's the new Bob Dylan song. The running clock woes. 3.5 minutes left in quarter number 2. Jack O'Connell and the Saab brothers have been phenomenal. So is Makai Parker, who picked up a 55-yard receiving touchdown for our latest score and got an interception, as now time is called. Delay of game on Glassboro. So that knocks them back to the 25. I think sometimes when these teams get up, they forget how much time they have, and sometimes you have to be thinking, you have to have two clocks in your head. You have to have a game clock, and you have to have a play clock. And when you're multitasking, sometimes you have somebody who's responsible for a play clock, you have somebody who's responsible for that. But when the play clock is not displayed on the scoreboard, the referees keep it on the field. And if you can't hear the referees displaying the play clock, you just got to keep your head back in the game and focus on the task at hand. O'Connell, that offensive line really holding up well. Pass is caught by Amari Saab. He'll get a gain of 13. He'll make up a lot in all of the false start and rather delay of game yardage that they lost. And they're going to get to second and short. He was out of bounds at the 13. So it'll be a gain of 12, and O'Connell and company will move forward. The clock stopped with 2:57 left in the first half. Stay tuned for the Dan Wilkins Broadcasting Archive program, our halftime entertainment, where we show you the best of the best from Dan Wilkins Broadcasting's 4-year history in South Jersey sports media. From walk-off hits to inside-the-park home runs to game-winning shots. I even think Devin Williams' shot might be on there. It's a fun time, so stay tuned for the halftime break and watch some good Dan Wilkins Broadcasting clips with us. Here comes the rush by DeLeese. That'll be enough for a first down. That'll be enough for first and goal as Glassboro. We talk about the Woodbury thundering herd. Well, I'll tell you this, Glassboro has been thundering their way towards the end zone pretty much all day. First and goal from the 8 now. Last time Glassboro had first and goal, took them until the last hour. Fourth and goal from the 1 to get into the end zone. And again, they just went back to the basics. They had some trick plays up their sleeve. This time, if they want to go up big, here comes the handoff. Amari Saab, left side. Flag is down. He gets into the end zone. The touchdown is good, but the flag might bring this one back. Offensive hold, so it does go back. This will be a long first and goal then from the spot of the foul. If that came in around the 5, then that would mean they'll be first and goal from the 15. So I guess it's not that bad. They're spotted at the 16-yard line. Here from the Woodbury Bowl, it's 77 degrees, mostly overcast today, some light winds. Big thanks, of course, with our partnership with Woodbury Athletic Director Anthony Browning and Woodbury High School. We'll see Woodbury 2 more times this year. Saturday, October the 4th versus Gateway, and then Saturday, October 25th versus Shalleck. Right side. Oh, big hit. Barr taken down. That will be a loss of about 4 yards on the play, and it'll now be second and goal from a very long ways out. But I don't doubt Glassboro. I don't doubt them one bit because they're Glassboro. They're probably going to find a way to score. I know it because they're Glassboro. This is a team, I said in the open, I said before we kicked off, I said I was watching some clips of the 1998 South Jersey Group 1 final. And it was between Glassboro and Woodbury. It was from this very field before it was renovated and reconstructed in 2006. And, Channel 5, Comcast Channel 5 was on it. And one of the things that I've really come to appreciate is that, we're kind of some of the only people that will do these independent broadcasts pretty much anywhere. We were in Buna on Thursday, Delran on Friday, and Woodbury today. This one's a deep shot. Triple coverage, too much mustard on it. And that would have been touchdown number 6, but O'Connell put too much into it. And he let it fly to the corner of the end zone in triple coverage. The intended receiver would have been Amari Saab, but it'll now be third and goal from the 20. Of course, this Woodbury facility gets packed during, I believe it's the spring season for the Woodbury Relays. It's a beautiful place to have a track and field event. I'll say track and field, it's never been something that I've taken a lot of research in, but, Woodbury, Cherokee, West Deptford, really the places in South Jersey that have been hotspots for track and field. O'Connell, another deep bomb on 3rd and goal. Another overshot that time. Parker would have had his second touchdown, but threw it again into triple coverage, and with under a minute left in the half, they're going to bring out the field goal unit here.
And the Herd defense stiffens on for the kick.
So this will be a field goal attempt from, let's see, they're at the 20. So this will be an attempt from 37. Here we go. It's up, and it's going to be well short. It will land on the back line of the end zone as Glassboro, they tried to get something going, but a good defensive stop by Woodbury. They had a holding call that prevented a touchdown, 2 incompletions, and a missed field goal from 37. Keeps the score at 31-7. And with Woodbury getting this drive back, that's going to mean that they're going to hold off on a running clock before the second half, unless Glassboro gets a scoop and score or some kind of interception, pick six, or some kind of, you know what I'm saying. It's any other score. If Glassboro had made that field goal, they would not have gotten to that point. It would have been 34-7. But they still got to get themselves in that position. And again, Glassboro's not even worried about a running clock. I mean, I can't know that for sure, but I can imagine from their style of play, it doesn't matter. 7 points, 0 points basically acts the same because of how much their offense is fire-powered. They don't really need to worry about it. Woodbury calls a timeout. I believe that is their first of the half. We'll take a quick break. Under a minute to play in the second quarter, 31-7. Under a minute to play. 31-7, Glassboro. Trips right for the Thundering Herd with Nico Jimenez back under the shotgun. Cheerleaders loud and proud. Band getting ready for their halftime performance. Jimenez, deep. Another one! Parker brings it down. It's his second interception. They tried to get a bomb downfield. Back-to-back plays, Nico Jimenez has given up an interception. And with 52 seconds left, Glassboro will get another chance. Now they'll be backed up inside their midfield, inside their half. But I don't doubt Jack O'Connell any one bit for the Gateway transfer. They'll be backed up to the 45. Woodbury making some shifts on the line, including number 52, Nasila Sortian. Got 10 yards or more. JoJo DeLeese will get a first down. Woodbury does have 2 timeouts remaining, but they would like to burn Glassboro's clock. Just got to get it settled here before we go to the half. Clock did stop with 42 seconds left. Nope, now it runs again. They'll have time with Glassboro not having any timeouts remaining. They burned 2 of them in the first quarter. 1st and 10. 15 seconds and counting. Here's O'Connell dropping back. One last hurrah. Fires a pass. It's almost intercepted. Martin and Thomas. Check that. Jimenez were in on that one. Tried to throw to the slant route that time for Saab. Amari Saab. And the clock will stop with 13 seconds on the board. 13 seconds. 31-7. I mean, I don't know if this result was unexpected. I mean, you know, Glassboro shut out Woodbury last time. Maybe Woodbury takes some pride when they look at this game in hindsight and say that they got the first score, but it doesn't matter who gets the first score. It matters who gets the most scores. You don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that. DeLeese going to try to get out at the sideline. Martin keeps him in on his feet. He's at the 15. They've got 5 seconds left. A late tackle comes in with Devon Barr. No flags unless the ball popped out somewhere. It is a first down, but they're not going to have time for another play. I couldn't tell if that tackle was a result of frustration or a result of a ball coming out, but the clock stops with under 6 seconds. Jimenez is coming out for the defense. That was a fumble recovery, it looked like, because Woodbury's got the ball on their own 16-yard line. So a fumble recovery will give them 6 seconds left, and now 3 straight plays, 3 straight drives have ended with a turnover. Actually 4, because interception, missed field goal, interception, and fumble. Because DeLeese had a first down, but the referee's sorting this out now. Woodbury's offense on the field here. DeLeese lined back up as a cornerback. They will have time for one more play, and they will kneel. They will not choose to throw it again. And at the end of the first half, it will be Glassboro 31, Woodbury 7, as Woodbury had the driver's seat for maybe 6 minutes. And then Glassboro came in and blew the roof off here in Woodbury. They lead it by 24 points, and they will start the second half feeling a lot better going into this one. We've got the DWB halftime program starting right now.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear.
Woo!
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need. And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research. In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Jersey is the number 2 seed. As we said, they beat Manville 19-0 in the first round, which was even larger than Audubon's 16-0 win over Paulsboro as the 1 seed in the first round. That one's hit out towards center field straight away. Oh, she misjudged it. Got over her head in center field. Now this one's got a chance to be 3 bases for Spire. She's flying around third. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is not in time. What a way to kick off a semifinal with an inside the park home run. Emma Spire, who will take her talents to the Great Danes after 2026, lights up the scoreboard with a fly ball that got misjudged in center field. And it gets past everybody. Graham will go back to position with no goal scored. They'll count down the time out loud here. Out to the left. One final shot, and it gets through. How about a buzzer beater? How do you do? It's a lead extending goal for Justin Lewis. Ugly to end the day for Luke Pokrovsky. Little pop-up, first base side, he calls for it, and for the first time in 33 years, the Charlotte Cougars will hoist the trophy and face Middlesex on Monday. 4-3, Cougars win it. And in the battle of green and gold, the trophy stays true with the visitors. What a finish! And Shalleck will pack their bags for Middlesex and the Blue Jays when the weekend turns around to Monday. Eppolite, he's, again, one time leaving the bases loaded is frustrating enough. Doing it twice in a row. Oh, how about this? Line drive. No, he's throwing it around the infield. They're going to throw him out at first. He's out. I have never seen that before. That is a 5-4-3 ground out because the third baseman thought he caught it. The home plate umpire said no, so he threw it around the infield and then got the out at first anyway because the batter thought he was out.
The batter stopped. The third baseman thought
Everybody
he caught
stopped.
it, and it touched.
And Argabright with a full count. Outfielders in communication for the Quakers. Everyone's looking around in a tie game, bottom of the 6th. The 3-2 payoff. Ground ball. It's going to get over the head of Tolbert into left field. That's a base hit. 2-run score. Argabright delivers when asked. 5-3. Alex Argabright has given the Golden Eagles a 5-3 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning.
So after the holding call to be 1st and 20, as now rolling out to the right side, he's got a little bit of room to run on a QB rush. He's going to get a first down. There's no flags, and how about this for 61 yards? Anthony Gaetano with a QB rush that works to perfection. He hugs the sideline, and Anthony Gaetano gets the scoring started for the Redhawks at 7-6.
Jack Mastero, 2 for 3 with a strikeout, a double, and a single. Looking to play hero. He's going to line this one into right center field, and that's going to drop. That's going to do it if they don't get a throw down. Mastero's going to second, and Danza's coming home. Sectional champions, Gloucester Catholic. They do it in a walk-off fashion as GC with Mastero playing hero. An unbelievable.
Literally, they've been here twice, and they're about to score, or on the doorstep of scoring 50 for the second game in a row. Xavier Terry Brown. He is still on his feet. He's being shoved forward into the end zone. But who's got the ball? Look at Jason Solomon. The ball magically appeared in Woodbury's hands, and now they're back at the 50. This one's going back. This one's going to go to the distance. I don't see any flags. Did that just go for 100 yards? I think it did. I do not see any flags as Woodbury. Oh my goodness, Jason Solomon have a day. He is the first man not named Taylor to score. Wow, that was good.
2 minutes remaining. 4 fouls on St. Joe's. 1 more and it's a bonus, which would greatly help Gloucester Catholic. The moving straight guard! It's a 1-point game just like that! This place is going nuts! And now a drive to the basket by Spross. He lays it up and lays it in! St. Joe's has 2 timeouts remaining. Gloucester Catholic still has 3. Here we go. Mastero pulls up. He goes to 3! 6 points! Jack Mastero has tied the game with 90 seconds remaining. How will the Wildcats respond? Ryan Nutley, who has 3 RBIs so far, is up on deck as here's a fly ball at the center field, going back to the wall. It is gone! 3-run home run, Steve Schaefer. He rockets one out, and it's 9-2. First home run for Schaefer this year, the second hit at home by a Scarlet Raptor. Doubleheader reached first on an error in the first at-bat of Game 2. This one's lined into center field. Slider going over. He dives. Did he make the catch? Yes, he did. Ryan Slider makes the catch. Not on a slide, but instead on a dive. 2 away. 1-0 Red Bank. Now here is Al D'Elia. The man they used to call Big Al has now slimmed down, and he still hits dingers. He went viral in 2018 for his catchphrase during the Little League World Series when he was introduced by the ESPN camera crews and was given his standard introduction. He said, "Hi, my name's Big Al, and I hit dingers." And that sentiment still holds true today. He had his first career high school home run versus Rumson Fairhaven in their opening game of the campaign last week. There's a swing and a miss, 0-2. But D'Elia, kind of a folk hero for baseball players who just want to hit the ball far and have fun while doing it. The poster child now is the poster big fella. Fly ball right center field. This is going to be a sac fly. taken in by Terranova, and Big Al might not hit dingers, but he certainly drives in runs. It's 2-0. He's donning the number 34 in the shortstop for this one. First pitch. There's a line drive into center field. That one is going to drop, and it's going to go to the outfield wall. 1 run will score. Spence is going to make a huge arc around third. She will score to make it 3-0. And here comes the runner to score. It's an inside the park home run for Ella Hayes to make it a 4-0 game, a 3-run inside the Parker to the 2. It will be inbounded by Pat Monahan. Oh, the ball gets away. Who's going to have it? GCIT will hang on to the possession. It goes to Stanwood. Stanwood inside. They'll get the shot off. It's good! Unbelievable! Foster calls the timeout, but will they get it? Unbelievable! Unbelievable! A double contest shot from Hellman! Wow. Ryan James wanted the timeout, but did they get it in time? Excuse me, Goldberg is a shortstop tonight, but he had a 400 average in 2023 as a junior. A homer in each of his sophomore and junior campaigns, 331 career mark and a 430 career slugging percentage. And speaking of home runs, there's a fly ball to left, and it's gone! Devin Goldberg answers on opening day with a first pitch rocket to left, and it's 1-0 Bridgewater. We were just talking about the long ball, and he stomps on the plate, mobbed at home, and Goldberg, the leadoff man, with a swing of gold. It's 1-0. First half down, one more to go here in Woodbury. It's been all Glassboro for about a quarter and a half. Yeah, it's 1:12 right now. That is how long this first half has taken. It has taken, oh my goodness, it's 1:12. Can you believe that? A 2-hour first half? This game started at 11:10. Oh my goodness. We still have another 2 quarters to play. We're going to be here for a while, but Woodbury got the first score, 49-yard touchdown, Elijah Young, and then Glassboro just never stopped running. They're up by 24 points here at the half. Glassboro is not mistake-free, but after shutting out your last 3 opponents and being 4-0 on the year, having 17 straight wins, not a lot of people or anyone can stop Glassboro. They're Glassboro. What are you going to do? That's just how it's going to be. Mekhi Parker, looking like he could stand out as a candidate for player of the game, had a touchdown earlier in the second quarter and now has picked up 2 interceptions in the second quarter off of Nico Jimenez. And probably a wise decision for Woodbury to kneel it out to end the half because he could have had a third if they gave him another shot. But the Saab brothers, Xavier and Amari, they've been doing as expected. Xavier Saab went down with an injury. We've seen him in some capacity, and now Amari's really been the one that's taken over the offensive protocol for Glassboro today. One thing that I thought was interesting, about 5 minutes left in the half, their place kicker, Salvatore Esgro, came out and was hitting field goals from 45, almost 50, out during the halftime break. So he was putting in the work. They had number 12, Moses Robles, back there. He was picking up the kicks as they were sailing through, and he was making pretty much every single one of them. So Glassboro looking, after taking 2-point conversions for pretty much the entire first half, to turn to their place kicker on special teams. Glassboro is almost done with their stretches, and so is Woodbury. The game plan for Glassboro, I think it's just going to be to keep doing what they're doing. I think they should run the ball more. And that's crazy for me to say, considering that they've had several passing touchdowns. But my critique is that they've been a little bit too fancy at times. That's really been my only real critique, is that Glassboro has found themselves in a situation where, you know, they were on second and goal. They were doing the merry-go-round on the huddle. And then after that, they were putting 3 linemen on the play. I don't think it's a bad idea, but they should limit it, because fake plays only get you so far, and sometimes it will annoy the other team. And we've seen how chippy this game got, and now there's a chance that we could see that flaring up again. We saw at least one play where there were 6 flags on the field. Had never seen anything like that before. But as we turn to the second half, I'm Dan Wilkins. I'm joined by Ryan Sieber to my right. He's barely in there off camera. But we'll be on the air. I'm going to turn this thing back around, and we've got DWB football, 24 minutes left. Glassboro 34, Woodbury 7 at the break right after this. We've been here for a while, and we might be here for even longer. Glassboro will kick this one away. Woodbury will receive the second half kickoff. It is another one that's botched, but it goes through. And now going through the middle and barreling his way, Samir Pettit up to the 42. He had a kickoff return touchdown earlier this season and now finds himself, I mean, again, if you're just joining us, you're like, wait, it's 1:15 in the afternoon. How are we just starting the second half? That's where we are. We have had a lot of delays. We had about a 20-minute delay for Isaiah Dunleavy, the lineman who went down, needed to be put into a stretcher and in an ambulance. And then we had some skirmishes, we had some flags, and we had a lot of touchdowns as well, and a lot of passes. This could break the record for the longest DWB broadcast, honestly, of football. 3 hours and 1 minute, Palmyra Gloucester Catholic from 2 years ago. Now, that was not the longest broadcast, but it was the longest game from start to finish. Palmyra beat Gloucester Catholic 19-13 at Gloucester. That was September 1st, 2023. Today, by the way, is our 70th DWB football game. Hard to believe we've been doing high school football now for 3 seasons. We've been in the business for 4. And again, the growth that we've experienced during this time is one that I wouldn't trade for the world. So we appreciate everything that has been, given our way, because it's such a blessing to be a part of the South Jersey sports scene and South Jersey sports media. As Jimenez drops back, he's in trouble. Oh, he tried to flip it, but it's an incomplete pass. It was picked up by number 4, Maurice Davis Jr. Glassboro doesn't understand why it was an incompletion, but he barreled the ball forward just in an attempt to get the ball out. He tried to give it, I think it hit off the backside of Dale Thomas, and it'll now be 3rd and 9 for Woodbury. Jimenez in trouble on the right side. He lets it fly, and it is out of bounds, intended for Thomas Lewis. Be 4th down for Woodbury. Lewis will be back to punt. Amari Saab will be back to return. Got to make sure they get off a clean punt here in a 24-point game. Good spiral, good punt. This one will get some good. This one's just going to land straight in the dirt. Another shove. Did Woodbury just fall on it? We're going to see who touched it. Woodbury thinks it's a first down. And it is. Wow. Glassboro had a miscommunication between number 3 and the senior Corey James Jr. Woodbury took advantage of that last year versus Pennsgrove. They had a punt that they now convert for a first down. I think that unintentionally touched a Glassboro player, and Woodbury was, keeping their wits about them. And they were able to pick it up. 1st and 10, Woodbury. What a change of pace. Now up from the opposing 30-yard line. Young in motion. They hand it off on the jet sweep. He finds a man, gets it through the middle for a gain of 2. Tackle made by number 21, JoJo DeLeese. And Woodbury will now have 2nd and about 8. The big break for Woodbury. I mean, that's a mistake that not a lot of teams make, and if you do, not a lot of teams make them often, and Glassboro, of course, trying to change the pace. Second and 8 from the 28-yard line to start the second half here. Jimenez rolling out to the right. Again, he's been very mobile tonight. He's going to be in trouble now. He's going to roll out to the left. He's going to let it fly. He might have Saab coming in for an interception. It's going to be caught. And down is Elijah Young. That is a big play. Should be enough for a first down from the 17-yard line. What a recovery there from Jimenez, who rolled out to the right, said nuh-uh, rolled out to the left, let it fly. Young beat out Saab in a one-on-one battle. And a huge break for Woodbury, as it is not enough for a first down on the progress, but it does get them a lot closer. I mean, that might have been the most complicated 5-yard gain we've ever seen. It's 3rd and 4 from the 23-yard line. And these breaks for Woodbury, you only get so many of them in a game. Trips right. It's one of those things where you can't keep getting away with it every time. Now has an open pocket this time. Young was the intended receiver, got broken up. DeLeese was the last man on him, and now it's going to be 4th and 4 from the 24. So the question is, does Woodbury try to – I don't think that they have the leg to kick it with Martin. And that's gonna be the debate here. I mean, they'll keep the offense on the field even if Glassboro gets a turnover on downs. You won't see them in great field position, being inside their own 25. Jimenez caught. Oh, massive hit. Amari Saab got his payback on Elijah Young. It is a short pass that is not enough. And Amari Saab, he almost made that one personal that time as Young made the completion, and now Amari Saab gives him the business, and he picks up a turnover on downs. Ooh, baby, that's a big hit.
But it will be a turnover on downs, and Glassboro will take over 1st and 10 from the Bulldogs.
First and 10, Glassboro. They're at their own 20. And he got leveled right at the waist. Just looking back at it on my end now. Glassboro up by 24 points. They're still 2 possessions away from making this a running clock game. They were able to do that in the first half of all 3 of their last games. Young with the tackle now. Again, going right back to it for Eli Young on the defensive side of the ball as he took away the carry that time from Corey James Jr. They'll break from the huddle with a gain of 2.5. They are at the 22-yard line. 2nd and 8. From the right hash, making sure there's no jump here. O'Connell finds his man. It's Parker. He's got some room. Fades a couple of tacklers. He is still on his feet. Barreled down at the 47. It's a big gain of, looks like 25. And it will be an easy first down for Mekhi Parker, who is, again, trying to solidify his case for our player of the game, and then some. As he picks up a big reception, he gets it up to the 48, so a gain of 24, rather. Actually, gain of 26. Either way, whether it's 24, 25, or 26, you don't need a rocket scientist to tell you that's a big play. Converting there for a first down. Now they're right on top of midfield. Looks like James Jr. deep in the backfield there with O'Connell under center. Now fires a pass to the left side. Hit as he catches. Tackle made by Brown. Catch made by Amari Saab. And that will be a gain of 12 up to the 40. First down, Glassboro again.
First and 10 Bulldogs on the Thundering Herd 41-yard line.
Pitched back to DeLeese. Still on his feet, taken to the ground by Young. He'll be downed at the 32. We have a flag on the play.
There is a flag down. Holding against
Glassboro hold. Again, Woodbury 1-3. They have their rivalry non-division game versus Gateway on Saturday, October the 4th. And then after that, they are away at Willingboro on the 10th, Pennsgrove on the 18th on Saturday, and then Shalleck on the 25th. Handoff, left side. Corey James on the carry. Again, that was a holding penalty for 10 yards with the spot of the foul. Looks like NJSIAA Satirion got the tackle that time. They are still across midfield. They are at the Woodbury 48, but this drive now getting a little bit more complicated on what will be 2nd and 16. O'Connell in trouble. He breaks a couple of tackles there, and he's not going to get very far. And they got to keep him on his feet to avoid a flag. They don't, but no flag is called. Again, they didn't rip him down hard enough for it, but O'Connell in trouble. Forward progress should put them right around neutral gain, still 3rd and long. Tackle made by number 55, Caleb Curry, the senior defensive lineman. Third and looks like about 17. They're at the 47 in Woodbury territory. Good snap. Line breaks. Pass incomplete, intended for Amari Saab. Now for 4th and long, I would imagine Glassboro, they might punt for the first time today. Hard to believe, first time today that they would punt. But in that case, they're up by 24. Obviously, you don't want to be comfortable, but you do want to be careful. There's a difference. Actually, I'm sorry. No, this is the second time because remember they went 3 and out on their first drive. All the way back yonder in the first quarter. It'll be Huertas back to return. Whoa, this one, he bobbles it. Now he punts on a line drive. Thomas and Parker getting into it. Now the return by Huertas. They're gonna have to be careful. I mean, Parker's got the size on him. He's 6'4". I mean, you could see that shoving back there. That was a lot more than a block, but Woodbury will get the ball back at their own. Let's see where they're at. I think that they're at their own 20. So still not great position, but again, with Glassboro up by 24, you force the punt, you force them to turn the ball over, and you almost force them to muff the punt there on the snap. Over the middle, it's caught. Pettit had it was Young, had his mouthpiece knocked out. Oh, and the referee got hit. Oh, no. The referee got tackled. Oh, no. The official he got hit in the middle of that. Haven't seen this before. I mean, we've seen officials get in the way sometimes, but I guess somebody didn't see him or a player didn't see him and he got taken down. Oh man, it was Elijah Young. If you take a look back at it, we don't have a replay saved in time, but Young, as he was getting through, he cut to the left and the referee just wasn't placed in the right spot and he kind of just fell backwards. So hopefully he is okay. He seems like he's standing. And remember, when we talk about football injuries and we talk about things that happen on the field, the physicality of the game, the referee is not protected. They don't have pads. They don't have, They don't have helmets. So when you hit the ground and you're falling backwards, that could be serious. I mean, we talk about people who have concussions and people who have, damage from hitting their head. When these football players do it, they have their helmets on. These referees do not. So that's always a scary situation for somebody that's trying to officiate the game. But it looks like he will be okay, and we'll stick with the 6 men we have on the field here. 1st and 10. They gained 11 yards on the play to Elijah Young. And with under 4 minutes left in the third quarter, they still trail at 31-7. Just haven't seen that before. I haven't seen a referee get stiff-armed before, or at least tackled. Direct snap to Dale Thomas. He's got some room. Saab can't get him down. He'll get thrown out of bounds. Woodbury takes exception to it, and they'll get him broken up. Corey James Jr. got the tackle that time. That's back-to-back first downs for Woodbury. That's going to be a gain of 11. No, it's going to be a gain of 15 because they're going to be at the 46. And now just a couple of yards away from crossing over into midfield and into Glassboro territory. First and 10, back-to-back first downs after a direct snap to Thomas. Thomas again on the carry, this time not so lucky. Tackle made by number 52, Dorian Kelsey. That's going to be a loss of 2. They'll get knocked back to the 43. Actually going to be a loss of 3 then, if that's the case. Yeah, again, I think Woodbury's got to keep things fresh enough to where it will disorient the Glassboro defense. That's what's been successful for them so far, even with only 1 touchdown on the board. What's going to be important is making sure that, Glassboro is never dead set on the same play. Maybe run, pass, run. If you run too many plays in a row, Glassboro is a very quick mind, and they're going to figure it out. Here's Jimenez. Again, that line has been collapsing pretty much all night. He's going to find a way to get through. He passes. It's caught. I don't even think Young was the intended receiver, but he made that play. Elijah Young over the middle. Great stuff that time. Three of their last 4 plays have ended in a first down. And now they're across the 50, and they got even further on that. They're at the 34 in Glassboro territory and continuing to drive. I mean, that O-line doesn't hold a chance. Look out here. Here's Jimenez. Same play. Rolling it out. Diving pass. Incomplete to Thomas Lewis. Parker on the defensive coverage. And then Maurice Davis Jr., 6'5", 210-pound defensive end, Maurice Davis Jr. Whew. They make them differently in Glassboro. Just like when we talk about Woodstown and all their 6'6", 6'5" athletes on the farmland, there isn't even any farmland in Glassboro. They just make those athletes differently down in the lab. With Glassboro still looking for their 18th straight win. Hard to believe. Haven't lost since the last week of November in 2023 in the state final at Rutgers to Mountain Lakes. Here is Jimenez. He's in trouble. He's chased. The tackle is broken. He's got an open field. He's got time. Throws from the 50. Dumps off a pass, and they will salvage at least the play as the pass was caught by Dale Thomas, and there's a Woodbury player down. Again, Jimenez being able to get rid of the ball for a completion. Just unbelievable what he was able to do there. I mean, he got Dorian Kelsey to miss, and after that he just jogged down to the 50 and dumped off a pass. Now, it is going to be a loss, but consider the fact that if Kelsey had gotten to him and tackled him at the 50, it would have been a loss of 15 yards on the play, or even 16, 17 yards. That would have been a very large, very consequential sack. So in that situation, it wasn't pretty, but that's what they got done. By the way, we're late enough in the day where we now have some final or some out-of-town scores coming in. At the end of the first quarter, Pennsauken leads Eastern 7-0. And then I believe the other game that we were keeping an eye on was Millville-Winslow. It is 14-0 Winslow at the end of the first quarter. We've got a lot of out-of-town scores to report on from last night, September 26th. First of all, our DWB feature game saw Burlington Township beat Delran 22-10, as that was Caleb Curry who was injured on the play. Ocean City beat Hamilton 14-7. Pleasantville beat Haddonfield 6-3. Collingswood shut out Haddon Township 36-0. Sterling shut out Gloucester Catholic 55-0 to improve to 5-0 on the season. Riverside beat Holy Cross 28-21. Cedar Creek beat Holy Spirit 43-33. EHT got their first win of the year with Rob Davis in his second year, winning over Deptford 35-21. Highland improved to 2-3 with a 13 shutout win over Cherry Hill West. Bordentown beat Maple Shade 24-0. Atlantic City, what a comeback for them. They scored 18 points in the fourth quarter to win it 24-20 over Cherokee. Burlington City improved to 5-0 with a 48-7 win over Florence. Camden beat Rancocas Valley in a battle of the defenses 8-6. And Lower Cape May beat St. Joe's Hamilton to give them their first loss of the year, the Wildcats, 31-19. Wildwood beat Palmyra, winless Palmyra, 25-6. Steinert beat Notre Dame 26-18. Here is Jimenez once again incomplete to Thomas Lewis, and it'll be 4th and long now. Kind of an interesting situation there. We do have a penalty flag down. Nottingham beat Heightstown 34-13 for Nottingham's first win of the year. Oakcrest beat Absegami 26-14. Triton beat Bridgeton 31-14. This is going to be a penalty against Glassboro, it looks like. Defensive holding. Shawnee beat winless Lenape 42-14. And what else do we have? We have, well, first of all, one of the perennial leaders in South Jersey Group 1, Shore Regional, they lost to Red Bank last night 14-13. Shout out, by the way, to our good friend South Jersey Football Group 1. They do a lot of great work with highlighting Group 1 football. They solely focus on Group 1, the small schools, and they go all the way up to the Jersey Shore for schools like Bound Brook, Manville, Keyport, Keensburg. And Jimenez will get wrapped up. That quarterback is toast as the tackle made, the sack made by Brandon Simmons Jr. He might co-sign on the sack with Dorian Kelsey. And after the defensive holding penalty, it's now 4th and 12 from the 35 with 45 seconds now in the third quarter. (31-7) could have a scoreless third quarter here in Woodbury. Well, Thomas Lewis is lining up as a wide receiver on the right side, so the assumption is that he is going to keep this one on the field for the offense for Anthony Reagan. Dropping back, 4th and 12. Here comes another rush. Dale Thomas not being able to answer a prayer versus the offensive and defensive line. Here we go. It's out of bounds. Intended receiver in double coverage was Young. There is a penalty flag that came in. Offensive hold, so incompletion, a turnover on downs, and a hold. It's a triple whammy for the Thundering Herd. We'll see where Glassboro gets this one spotted. There is 5.5 seconds on the clock in the third quarter. And really, after all the offensive onslaughts we saw in the first half, we saw what looks like it'll be a scoreless third. But, yeah, anyways, I'll talk about South Jersey Group 1, their Twitter and Instagram account. They do a great job. Highlighting all of the programs, really. And it doesn't matter whether a team's 0-5, doesn't matter whether they're 5-0. You would imagine a team like Glassboro, they don't get extra love. They don't get extra coverage. He covers every team the same, and I think that that's an incredibly fair and admirable way to put it. And he's very knowledgeable about the sport as well. You know, updated UPR rankings. He does his own independent. I think it's top 12, top 15 every week. He's a very smart guy when it comes to Group 1 football, and it doesn't get the same love. There's no reporters here. There's barely any photographers, except for the ones that are commissioned by the team. Maybe there's some on the Glassboro side that only cover Glassboro, but, you know, again, Group 1 football, I see so many games that just don't get any love because, you know, they think, oh, the school's smaller, so the football program's not as good. Yeah, you're going to advertise to more people in a Group 4 or Group 5, but somebody's got to cover the little schools. Somebody's got to cover the little guys. We'll take a quick break, but I'll tell you, I went to Audubon High. My graduating class was 124. I understand what it's like to be overlooked in the grand scheme of things by South Jersey. And these two teams should not be overlooked. It's 31-7 after three-quarter time. Fourth quarter, ready to go here from Woodbury between the Glassboro Bulldogs and the Woodbury Thundering Herd. Glassboro with a win would improve to 5-0, and again, I think if there's one team that the New Jersey, I guess you could say the Wizards thought would be 5-0, Glassboro is definitely one of them. Here's the catch. They get on 2nd and 6. They got a first down. They're going to be at midfield. Parker taken down, helmets off somewhere. It was Thomas Lewis. Unfortunately, he'll have to sit out a play because of it. But Lewis putting his body on the line there. And it'll be a first down for Glassboro. I mean, I'll tell you, Glassboro's just been workhorses today. Even though they've made some mistakes, they've definitely made some, what's it called? I don't want to say unacceptable. They've definitely made some silly mistakes, like on that punt that Woodbury ended up recovering because of the accidental deflection off of Glassboro, and they didn't pick it up. You know, those are going to happen, but those can be overlooked when you look at the scoreboard. I think that might have been picked off. Late flag came in. Almost was brought in by Jimenez. Might have been the first quarterback I had ever seen with an interception, but let's see what the call is. Again, the penalty flag came in as Jimenez was diving for the ball. Defensive pass interference. Interesting. That'll be an automatic first down and a 15-yard penalty, so Glassboro gets another break. First and 10, Glassboro. They are moved up now to the opposing 34. Another rush for space by Glassboro. It'll be a gain of 11 or 12. First down, Bulldogs. They have been relentless tonight. And now Caleb Curry is down for a second time. No, that is not Curry because he is standing over the injured player. And an injury timeout here. So the Woodbury athletic staff will come out and attend to him. 11:19 left in quarter number 4. We'll take a quick break. 31-7, Glassboro. Omar Johnson was the injured player. He was able to walk off under his own power. 1st and 10, single back, pump fake, now rolling out to the right side. One-on-one, incomplete. Intended for Amari Saab. I mean, it was intended for him, and he caught it, but it just wasn't a catch. As Jimenez, again, lining up as a quarterback and defensive back, was the one to run him out of town. And in the final 11 minutes of this game, it'll be interesting to see how Glassboro continues to drive. They're up by 24 points, and again, after scoring 157 points to a grand total of 0 allowed in the last 3 weeks, it's almost a little bit shocking to see that Glassboro hasn't put up more. Rush up the middle. They'll get up to the 12 on the rush by Corey James. No, Jojo DeLeese. Check that. No performance from the band at halftime was a little bit surprising. I mean, Woodbury puts on some fantastic band performances for how small their group is. But no band members seated either. They still had the taped signs on the bottom that said reserved for band, but nobody's occupying them. Third and 4 from inside the red zone. Fires a pass, incomplete. Amari Saab, the intended receiver. Yeah, I'm not sure who the player of the game would be for Glassboro to hold on, but this has just been a fantastic performance from the Glassboro offense so far. Again, the senior quarterback, Jack O'Connell, I feel like, they give some people all the credit. O'Connell deserves to get some credit too. I mean, he is a great pocket passer. He's very efficient, gets rid of the ball very quickly. And, of course, that offensive line really holding up as well with Brandon Simmons and others. Line drive pass. It's caught. Parker gets his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Glassboro. After a scoreless third quarter, it's the second touchdown of the day for Mekhi Parker. And he's picked up 2 interceptions, but there is a flag. That would have been his second touchdown. Is this coming back? So it'll be an illegal formation. Okay. So that will negate the touchdown. Would have made it a minimum 37-7. Looks like a timeout was called. We'll stay here. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. You can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. This broadcast is also brought to you by Gray Fox Sports, the premier South Jersey photography organization. To get yourself in the game and get yourself some photos, again, with some of the best that South Jersey photography has to offer, visit grayfoxsports.net or visit them on Instagram, again, at Gray Fox Sports. That's the Woodbury. There's the municipal building down there. That's all on Broad Street. If you leave the parking lot today from Woodbury High School and make a left and then make another left, I think you'll find a lot of diverse restaurants on Broad Street, a lot of Hispanic places, some Chinese places. One of the most underrated downtowns I've seen, obviously somebody who comes from Audubon, we've got about a block and a half, and my biggest critique, we don't have a lot of nightlife. We don't have a lot of restaurants open late or entertainment spots. Woodbury's got it all, and I really admire what they've built this downtown into on Route 45. 4th and 9. O'Connell, he's got a long time, and he's got the touchdown. JoJo DeLeese, after the first touchdown was called back for holding, I mean, Jack O'Connell basically had a brick wall of an offensive line, setting up a very easy touchdown for a grand total of, it looked like, I believe that was 19 yards. And Jack O'Connell fires another. His total will go up quite a bit. And they'll send their junior kicker, 5'7", 135, Salvatore Esgro, O'Connell to hold. This would make it a 38-7 game. It's up, away, and good. Looked like he got enough for it. And Glassboro leads this one by 31 points right after this. Well, this was the play that gave Glassboro yet another score. Now we'll come back to it. We've got a kickoff to play here. Esgro sends it away. It's returned. Looks like by Pettit. Gets a good return, and now he's got some room. He's got some space. He's got blockers. Do not see any flags. He is up to the 30. Saab may be the last man to chase him down, and he is down all the way up at the 10-yard line and just scouring the field. I don't see any flags. Woodbury, what a return, Samir Pettit. And the PA guy's right. I mean, listen, the return is one thing, but those blocks really helped, and now whistles are going to blow because there's an injury timeout. And I believe it is that returner that was injured. He got taken down hard by Saab. And in what is now a 31-point game with 9.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, we'll see the Woodbury training staff coming out again.
There's a man down on the far sideline. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Woodbury. Just inside the 15. We'll take 1st and 10 for the herd from the Glassboro 14-yard line.
So again, believe that may be Pettit down, but some more out-of-town scores. Winslow leads Millville 28-6 with a minute left in the half. Looking to see if I can find anything on Eastern Pennsauken. 14-14, tied with 6 minutes left in the second quarter. R.J. Blunt picked up a second touchdown. He's had many of those. Again, 9:36 left in quarter number 4.
First and 10, the herd.
First and 10 for Woodbury. They are at the 15-yard line. After a huge kickoff return that time, led by Samir Pettit. And he is up and standing on the sideline. Here is Jimenez. Simmons makes him uncomfortable. Jimenez able to slide out of it. He will let it fly deep and well out of bounds that time with double coverage led by James Jr. and DeLeese. Also, there was a squirrel on the field as well. He has now climbed the fence.
Personal foul against Glassboro.
Glassboro got it with a personal foul.
That is certainly going to help the Thundering Herd's cause here.
So in this case, with it being from the 15-yard line, looks like it's going to be half the distance, which would put him right around the 7 or the 8. Hold on here. Oh, they're dropping the sticks. Okay, that's what it was. Because with the personal foul, it was an automatic first down. Now it's going to be first and goal from the 7.
First and goal here for the Thundering Herd.
Direct snap. Big hit. DeLeese. Finishing him off was Avion Warfield. So another loss of yardage that time for Woodbury, and it's going to almost put them right back where they started. It'll be second and goal from the 13. Under 9 minutes left in regulation. Glassboro up big. And after a loss, a significant loss in the play for Nico Jimenez, he's in trouble. Left side, this is the second time, made a man miss. Now cuts towards the middle of the field. Did he get in? Yes, Woodbury touchdown. Great effort by Nico Jimenez for 13 yards. By the way, we have an out-of-town scoreboard that is an odd out-of-town score in the United Division. Kip Cooper beat Lindenwold by a score of 74-22. 74-22. That is a combined 96 points. I don't have any other details. I just saw it literally 5 minutes ago. Kip's athletic director posted it on the Instagram, Nick Drago. Woodbury to go for 2. 38-13 is the current score. Jimenez will let it fly, and it's incomplete. Getting in front of the body that time was JoJo DeLeese. Eli Young, again the intended receiver. He'll get some help up, and the 2-point conversion, no good. So it's a high-scoring affair. Not exactly 74-22, but it is 38-13 with 8:20 remaining in the ballgame. We'll be right back. Woodbury put up another 6 on a 13-yard rushing score by Nico Jimenez. Martin having a little bit of trouble with the T. Let it hold. He did that thing we all do. He just put his hands up and he's like, just stay, stay. Martin with a low line drive kick. Saab fields it cleanly at the 10. Lewis coming in on the right side. Now Saab's got some room. He's going to get past Martin, and he's going to get a kickoff return that's going to go far. Will he go all the way? Yes, he will. Kickoff return, touchdown, Amari Saab. The man can do it all, and there's a reason why coaches at the highest level of the game love him so much. A return of 89 yards, and Amari Saab takes it to the house, takes it downtown, and it's now going to be a 44-13 Glassboro lead. Just a huge return that time. Going to make it a 31-point game. PAT would make it 32. They would need one more score to initiate the running clock. Here we go. Esgro, it's up, away, and good. Off the back fence towards the parking lot. That would have been good from a long ways out, as Glassboro extends their lead to 45-13 as they look for their 18th straight win. They still need another score to make the running clock in effect, but we'll stay right here. 8:04 remaining in the ball game in what is now, again, a 32-point lead. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by Ryan Sieber on the production today here from the Woodbury Bowl. Don't forget, we've got Woodbury again on Saturday, October the 3rd versus Gateway, October the 4th versus Gateway. Stumbling all over the place. And then Saturday, October 25th versus Shalleck. Eastern has taken the lead over Pennsauken 21-14 late in the second quarter. Definitely going to be it's going to be an interesting weekend. I mean, we had a whole bunch of college football last night. I watched a lot of Florida State and Virginia. I actually watched the end from the first overtime onward. I was looking at that field storm. I mean, they've got I went to a visit at the University of Virginia, and I also went to a concert at the University of Virginia in the same weekend. Only spent a day there to see my favorite band of all time, the Dave Matthews Band. It was my first show, and it was at John Paul Jones Arena, home of UVA basketball. And it's a nice campus, and I saw their football stadium. I mean, it's a big place, and that hill, it's larger than you think. Big hit that time, got three guys topped on top of him, as that will be the return by Huertas, the junior. And Woodbury with, again, non-ideal field position to start this drive from the 23. Hard to believe we're already almost halfway through the regular season, basically halfway through the regular season already. Seen a lot of exciting games. This is our first time seeing Glassboro since September 29th, 2023, when they beat Clayton on the road 16-8 in Breaker's first year. A season where they went 9-4 and then made it to the Group 1 state final, falling to Mountain Lakes. Sidearm pass that time intended for Thomas, incomplete. 7:56 remaining on the clock.
Same bad time, same bad channel. Woodbury will be here 11 a.m. to
2nd and 10 from the 25. I mean, this game is slowly moving. I mean, you can see the fans, they're just kind of hanging around. Game's not that particularly close. Go with a triple option that time. Handoff to Young. And he'll emerge with the ball. Forward progress should either be neutral gain or a loss of a yard. Jimenez rolling out, hit as he throws. One-handed, couldn't get the interception that time. That was darn close for Brandon Simmons. Almost had a sack. Then DeLeese almost had an interception. .706 in the fourth. James Jr. back to receive. It'll be once again Thomas Lewis to punt, making a quick personnel change and putting Jimenez on the offensive line. Fourth and 10. Woodbury to punt. He's deep back there. Here we go. A lot of height on the punt. James fumbles it, but is able to get the return. He is down at the 42. And Woodbury gets a good punt off, but Glassboro will get their possession in opposing territory. Don't forget to join us on Tuesday, September 29th at Rutgers Camden for JUCO soccer action between the nationally ranked Camden County Cougars and the Rowan College of South Jersey Roadrunners. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. It is a standalone game because for the second year in a row, Camden County is not fielding a women's team. And that'll be fun. Always love going to Rutgers Camden, whether it's for baseball or whether it's for, again, soccer. We haven't seen a Rutgers Camden soccer game, but we have seen several times a soccer game between Camden County and RCSJ. It's been 3 years in a row that we've covered that now between those two. High snap. Handoff. Up the middle for about 5 yards. I'll get up to the 37-yard line. And, folks, we have history. This is now the longest Dan Wilkins Broadcasting football game from start to finish. Kickoff today was already 10 minutes late. We kicked off at 11:10. It is now 2:12. The longest game before that was 3 hours and 1 minute, Palmyra and Gloucester Catholic. We are now seeing a game that we are now in 3 hours and 3 minutes. 3-hour football game, folks. And I thought Highland Penn Saucon 2 weeks ago was long. Oh, boy. We don't know what we're getting into here. Here's the rush. Right side, gain of 2. Looks like that might have been number 15. No, not number 15. Was that James again? It was Devon Barr, excuse me. I thought I saw 15, but it was just number 5, Devon Barr. Again, another Glassboro basketball player. The last time we saw these two teams against each other was the famous Devin Williams game, first round of South Jersey Group 1. And the funny thing is, we almost didn't do that game. The game where Devin Williams hit a over half-court shot to win it. The clip would end up finishing 7th on the ESPN Sports Center Top 10 for the day. I tell people it's the greatest 7th-place finish I've ever had. It got featured on ABC, CBS, the Philadelphia affiliates there, Channel 6 and Channel 3, and some other great media outlets in New Jersey and beyond. Handoff, left side. Devon Barr taken down there, but it is enough for a first down across the 30. mean, who would have thought that a game that was supposed to kick off at 11 a.m. would still be going on and still have 5 minutes on the clock at 2:15? You could have gotten your breakfast when you turned on this game, and now when this game's over, you can go grab a late lunch. And I'm not even done to that tonight. I have a commission with another company in Wilmington, Delaware that I got to go to at 7 o'clock. We never stop working at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Rush to the left side. DeLeese, look out. They'll get him separated. Lewis with a word exchanged. And again, the more that the clock winds down and the more that the game gets out of hand, Glassboro is keeping their players rather disciplined, though. I would say that, with last night, Burlington Township and Delran, the biggest problem that I saw was that a lot of those players definitely did not know how to contain their emotions. And again, looking back at the first half, we saw a very chippy first half, seeing literally 6 individual flags on the field from every single referee, from every single corner. Another good snap to O'Connell. Here comes the rush from DeLeese. No, rather from James. Flag comes in from the backside. But they're trying to rip the ball out after the whistle. Let's see what the call is here. Maybe a hold. Two flags were down, but I think that they're for the same infraction. It's a hold on Glassboro. Second and 14 after the hold. Man in motion, moving over to the right side. That's a tight end. And whistles at the snap as well. False start.
Back-to-back penalties. False start for the Bulldogs. Knocks them back even further.
Second and long here with under 4 minutes to play now. They're back at the 36. James, carry, gets it back within 10. Tackled to the ground at the 26. That's going to be a gain of 10. So with second and 18, they'll now set it up for 3rd and 8. But Glassboro can really just get a couple of first downs and then kneel here. No need to, you don't even need the running clock. Definitely would have gotten us out of here a little bit earlier, but still, point is, Glassboro is putting in the work. Third and 7 or 8. They're at the 25. O'Connell, handoff. James gets up to about the 20. Fourth down and short for the Bulldogs. Fourth and 3, 21-yard line, 2 minutes left, and a game that has been screeching to a halt for pretty much the entire second half. Looks like this could be over here with James. Up the middle on the right side. He gets within the 10, and it's a first down. And that should drop the sticks as well, with Glassboro on the edge.
With a little help from his friends, but that's good enough for another Glassboro first down. It's going to be first and goal inside the 10. For the Bulldogs with 1:48 and counting.
So up to the 7 now. This is the first time that Glassboro has allowed a South Jersey Group 1 opponent to score double digits since Shalleck in Week 7 last year. They won 20-10. They did win 36-20 versus Haddonfield, as we mentioned before. They'll improve to 5-0, 18 straight wins. They've got Deptford on the road, then Cinnaminson for Thursday night on the 9th, Shalleck on the 17th, Woodstown on the 24th. Now a minute to play. For Woodbury, they've got the rivalry game versus Gateway. They've got a man down on the far side. Number 58, Elijah Sistrunk, the freshman. Of course, they've had a lot of defensive assets go down, including in the first quarter. Isaiah Dunleavy picked up a big sack on Jack O'Connell and then went down, had to be transported into the ambulance via Gloucester County EMS. This game's almost over, folks. Just got to wait a little bit longer. Hope he's okay. 1:05 left. 45-13 Glassboro. Glassboro looks like they're well on their way to win number 18 in a row, win number 5 on the season. We mentioned before we went to break for the freshman Sistrun that went down that they have the rivalry game versus Gateway on the 4th coming up. Willingboro on the road on the 10th. Saturday, October the 18th versus Pennsgrove, and then Saturday, October 25th versus Shalleck. Here comes a shot for it all. Touchdown, Glassboro. That should do it. And a good celebration there to close it out as the catch made by Marley Crowell, the junior. They're hounding him in the end zone. And that will be a 50-burger for Glassboro, so the final minute of the game will be a running clock. And it will now make it 51-13. Going to be a contender for one of the higher scoring games we've seen. The highest scoring game on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting in football history was Willingboro over Delran on September the 19th, 2023. Final score was 57-19. But Glassboro with a 50-burger. And for them, it's nothing new. Three of their first 5 games have ended in 50 or more points. And they've scored a low of 36 opening week versus Haddonfield. It's up, away, and good. 3 straight PATs made for Salvatore Escrow, the junior. And as we said, 36-20 over Haddonfield, 52-0 over Haddon Heights, 63-0 over Pennsgrove, 42-0 over Salem. The 13 points for Glassboro is a little bit of a blemish, but it's business as usual for Timmy Breaker, who will pick up his 18th straight win. We mention it like a broken record, but that's how much it needs to be emphasized. I mean, those are 1990s Paulsboro records with Glenn Howard. This guy, Timmy Breaker, I believe he's somewhere in the late 20s, early 30s. He's a young head coach. He warms up with a cowboy hat on the field. He coaches with sleeveless shirts and big guns on his side. I'm talking this guy could be the next Glenn Howard. He's already got a state championship. He knows what it's like to win. He knows what it's like to lose. In his first year state final with Mountain Lakes winning, he knows what it's like to be on both ends. And he knows how much more it's better for him and it's better for his program to win. And with all the uncertainty going on in the Gloucester County area, of course, with Rowan University's expansion, Glassboro High School football never has had a better opportunity or a more timely opportunity to shine. 9-4 in his first season with 3 losses in the regular season, including a home shutout. And I feel like if you're Timmy Breaker, you look back at those 3 games and say, how could we have won them? Because it would have been an even better winning streak if he was able to do that. He has only lost 3 times in the regular season at home. And now a rush. Huertas gets hit hard. And the clock will continue to run with this game. Oh, hold on here. Late flag. Yep. Had a feeling that was going to come in. That's now going to stop the clock with 46 seconds left. I think Glassboro is going to be called for something here, just getting the emotions out as this game winds down. So they'll discuss. I mean, under a minute left. I mean, is that what we're doing here? On sports, personal foul on Glassboro. Again, you just have to keep the emotions to yourself. You're happy. You're full of pride. The game's over, pretty much. The game's won. You can't hurt the team with a 15-yard penalty like that. Again, the thing is when you have several players who are being very highly recruited is that coaches from schools will also take a look at the other players as well. You know, how is the team culture? How does the team react in adversity? And sometimes if you pick up a lot of personal fouls, that's not going to make anybody else look good. So from a personal standpoint, you just have to keep those emotions to yourself. And again, with under a minute left, you don't want to make the program, you don't want to make the coaches look bad. You want to put yourself in a positive light. You want to put your team in a positive light. And there's good ways to be happy. There's good ways to show emotion, but the referees will call it as it is if you are showing emotion by putting somebody else down or putting somebody in a bad light. That's just how it is. Clock will now run. 45 seconds left. Woodbury's got the ball from their own 35. They'll have time for maybe a couple of plays. Again, with this being pretty much dead time, we'll see if Woodbury will try to air it out or if they'll just experiment a little bit and see what they can get, see if they can put anything else on the scoreboard. Screen pass, Elijah Young. Oh, he's hit hard. He'll get wrestled to the ground. Simmons coming in hard behind him. With 20 seconds left, that should be the final play of the game for what will be a final score of Woodbury 13, Glassboro 52. A high-scoring affair of all accounts, a 65-point total offensive production. And as the clock winds down, they'll meet at the 50. And what a night it was for Glassboro. 5-0 on the season, 18 straight wins, and it still has been over 600 days since Glassboro has lost in the regular season. It is a fantastic time to be a Glassboro Bulldog, and no other performance exemplifies it just like this. 52-13, Glassboro winners here in Woodbury. What a night it was for them. Our player of the game, I don't know exactly who to give it to. I think Makai Parker is going to be that man to be. Had a touchdown, had 2 interceptions, really came in because we did not see Xavier Saab at all in the second half. He was injured in the second quarter, and I think with Woodbury, with Glassboro up big, they decided to just kind of let it go. Again, with a player of his caliber, of his stardom, you don't want to risk any further injury. If it was a close game, yeah, sure, you can do that. But with how Xavier Saab was, I mean, I didn't see him at all dressed for the second half, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. But either way, we'll turn this back around. We've got to zoom out here so you can see myself here as we close this one out here in Woodbury. I mean, just really, really good game by Glassboro. You know, this is our second year with the with the partnership with Woodbury High School. And what's going to be interesting, you know, now that we go into our second year with Woodbury, it's going to be interesting to see how the divisional alignment changes, because I don't think that Glassboro is going to stay in the Diamond Division for very long. It's one of those situations where you know that Glassboro is going to be a team to watch and a team that's probably going to get a move up at some point, kind of like Paulsboro did a couple of years back. There's teams that in a second year of a divisional rotation will struggle because they lose a lot of guys and they can't wiggle their way out of it. They have to play the same opponents again and again and again. Well, now Glassboro could probably be a good candidate to move up. I don't know how far the NJSIAA or the WJFL will let them move up, but I can imagine they could get a bump. Woodbury hasn't been playing that bad, but Glassboro is just a different animal. You know, I came into this game unsure about how Woodbury would play because they had a big confidence win over Woodstown 42-6, but that was their first win of the year. Somebody's got to break the stalemate, break the tie. You know, they lost to Brick Township, they lost to Haddonfield, they lost to Salem. Haddonfield was a team they lost to by 1 point last year, and Woodbury beat Salem by 25 points in 2024, unable to pull off the win in 2025. So the question is, Glassboro came in business as usual. They didn't have anything else on their minds except winning the football game, and that's how Glassboro football operates. They are a very hard-nosed team. They'll get in the way sometimes. They'll pull off a couple personal fouls that'll scratch your head, but they'll win the game. Doesn't matter how you feel about it. It doesn't matter what you think about it. It doesn't matter whether you like Glassboro or not. They will run over you and they will win the game. And that's what they showed us tonight. 52-13. It's their third game out of 5 this year where they've scored 50 or more points, including a 63 spot versus Pennsgrove. And they came into Woodbury today well rested and even through a grueling, let's see, it's 2:30 right now. So the game started, that's going to be a 3 hour and 18-minute game, the longest for football in Dan Wilkins Broadcasting history. Heck, the longest baseball game was 3 hours and 34 minutes. I mean, what are we doing? This was a crazy game. Had a lot of long delays. Of course, Isaiah Dunleavy, hope he's okay, had to be transported into the ambulance into the nearby medical center here in Woodbury. But Glassboro just played great. I mean, dealing with Amari Saab's injury wasn't easy. He didn't play, it looked like, for pretty much all of the second half. And by the time that had happened, Woodbury was pretty much down on their luck. They were unable to complete a lot of drives. They had some bad punts that ended up being muffed. And Glassboro just ended up taking advantage of it, and that was great. I mean, Nico Jimenez, they threw 2 interceptions right to Makai Parker. There's a lot of size differences on these two teams, and Glassboro just outmanned them, outpowered them. Wouldn't be surprised if that winning streak continues to extend into the end of the regular season, and we'll see a de facto number 1 seed coming this time at the end of October. That'll be all for us tonight here on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Our next broadcast will be Tuesday, September 29th for our last in the month of September, between the Camden County Cougars and the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners in men's soccer at 6 p.m. from Rutgers Camden. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator Haley Mejia, our graphics crew Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Carson Rossa, my producer Ryan Sieber on very short notice. We appreciate it. I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you on Tuesday. Glassboro over Woodbury in a high-scoring affair, 52-13. Have a good one, folks.